Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's Monday at 1 p.m. already, and it's Roller Wiener Monday. I hope you have your wieners in your hands and you're ready to get going. Apparently now, at some places, you can go choose your own wiener again. That's always annoying when they just hand you any old wiener, no matter how flappy it is or wrinkly. You want to choose the best one. So now apparently that is possible to do, and we can do it. This week, the final hours of service rules issued. I know everybody will have something to say about that. As an astute viewer wrote in, Yellow missed their health insurance payment through their plan, so that's a problem. Comcar, CCC, files bankruptcy, and guess who bought one part of it? That will be an interesting discussion, because they sold each part off individually. The DOT has announced their crackdown weeks coming up. I've got some more stock prices, as always. And they're all over the place. More, though, some surprise and some not surprise. So Wild Bill was first on Thursday. So that was good. And today I have Misty first. Misty Ravko's first in today. And I appreciate that. And so today we have Al Johns is here today. Hello there, George Wilson. Imperial Sync, what's happening? Christina Jones is here today. And I have Mark Ely is here today. Aviator Trucker, Comfortable Man 12 is here. James Faust, hello, what's happening out there? Kind of humid out here today. And so that's good. The haircutting places are open. Obviously, I haven't been in there. You have to make an appointment. So that's just brilliant. The President, George H.W. Bush, is here. I appreciate you coming in, giving presidential advice. That's always great. Bobby Clark, thank you for being here. Caleb is here. What's going on? John Staniszewski. Love it. It's Roller Wiener Monday, as always. Thank you for that. So, Big Stuff is here. Right. Eddie McFadden. Hello there. What is going on? You're ready? I'm ready too. Let's roll this thing. Let's get this thing out of the dock and rolling down the road. Jerry Rocks. Give you liberty or give me more money. Well, that's the thing. I'll sell my liberty for $1,200. All right, I'm in. So, great. Jeffrey Herring, good afternoon to you. It's good to see you. Grafton, hey, what's going on? Live long and prosper. D.A. is here. Yeah, money, trucks, and tacos and wieners. That's all we need. Right, comfortable, you'll drive the truck the way you want. And if they don't like it, they can drive it themselves. Exactly. Eventually, they will be driving it themselves. Michael Muller, what's happening? Reset in Jeffersonville, Ohio until 7. All right, Steel Horse, here we go. It's good to see you. Dan, right, America, believe me, right, this can't get any worse here. Holy moly, right? Preacher Paul, good afternoon. So, and I'm losing my spot all the time, so Elias, I've just been working 6 hours a day. Wow. So hours of service doesn't matter. Yeah, no doubt. You can log everything doing that without any problems. Of course, it'd be nice if you could do that and make a regular day's pay. What the truck, I'm ready to go home and make wieners at the wiener plant instead of driving. Yeah, depending. If you work for Comcar, now they're not closing or anything. So, and they're one of the places I've liked. So they're not going to close. We'll see how that goes. Michael Muller, GPL or GPS bought the Sell It on Indy terminal. Yeah, that's still going to continue on. It was some kind of, I actually didn't write it down. I saw that. But that is sold, right? Oscar, resident from San Diego, where it's always sunny and everyone's in a Speedo. Chris, perfect introductory quote. Thank you. I try to get something appropriate for the week as we sink farther and farther into tyranny and communism. Alexandra, what's up? Yeah, Wolverine. Well, I'll take that. At least you could see me. If it was Bigfoot, nobody'd be able to see me. So that's because Bigfoot's always out of focus, if nothing else. Kenneth is here. Unionize. That would be one way to solve a problem. Musical gap, food, preacher. Paul, as always, enjoyed the Sunday rant. Thank you very much. I got one in this week, so that was good. Good afternoon, GP Transco. It's good to see you today. And let's see, here's this. I have my slide for you there. If you want to be treated like a professional, unlike many of these places, especially now, oh my gosh, give GP Transco a call, all right? So that would be really great if you could do that. Now call them and tell them, just say hello there. They love to hear from everybody. Bob, now there'd be 400 people calling. Bob, what does the government always think it can do the job better than trained professionals? Well, because once they get elected, they think they're, professionals about whatever they're doing, even though they have no experience. You have your part of your highway freak as part of your bumper in your passenger seat, and there's an Infiniti with a semi-truck sized dent in it. That isn't great. That isn't great. While Bill's out driving but listening, Oh, you're out driving and listening, and you got that MKZ out there. Nice. I love it. Who do I drive for? Well, I don't ever, for new people to the show, which there's some new people every week, I guess. I don't ever say who I drive for, and that keeps them out of my videos. And also, I think that works out better. I don't recruit for them. Like, drivers are out recruiting like crazy now because their miles are down. So I don't recruit for them, and I think it just keeps it good all the way around. Trucking Journeys likes the new job at Poly. All right, I was wondering how that was going to go over there. GP Transco, stop by our Facebook page to see Dolph Lundgren. Shout out to truck drivers during the pandemic and say hi to GP Transco. How'd you get Dolph Lundgren to do that? What has that guy done lately? Not a lot. Dolph Lundgren. That's pretty awesome. I'm going to go check that out. Good morning from rainy Northern California. By an 80 there, as someone said earlier, they're chaining up on 80. What is happening? What is wrong with the world when we're chaining on I-80 in May? I don't get it. The big healthy highwayman is here. All right, hello, Mark. Sent you a photo of GP Transco at Petro and Kingman. It's probably a color I've never seen. So half a teal and white. Oh, I wonder why it's half and half. Of course, owner-operators there have different colored trucks, so they're not required to paint their truck any certain color. Shout out to Justin Sturgill Trucking in Cincinnati, Ohio, with a new Peterbilt fleet. Oh, very fancy, very fancy. John's Bigfoot or John Cena? Well, I don't think anybody's confused me for John Cena, probably ever in my life. So, got spoiled with an extra live last week. Scared of Bigfoot. Well, look, that was important. I said I would go live, and it was so long ago. But our new hours of service came out, and it's a real problem. I think that drivers are they'll think like they're making more because they're working more, but it's not going to help owner-operators with rates and stuff too. So there was a big discussion about the split sleeper, so I went and read through the whole thing. Okay, thank you everybody for making me do that. Over 200 pages, a PDF file for the whole thing. Fortunately, a lot of it is just legalese and stuff, but I read through and it does not say anywhere in the document that you have to have the longer part first for a split sleeper. It doesn't say that. And in fact, they talk about why they didn't give the industry the 3-hour break. Some people wanted a 3-hour break where you could go off duty up to 3 hours and stop your 14-hour clock. Well, the DOT said, no, we're not going to do that, but instead we're going to allow you to split your sleeper and take either section and not have that section count against your 14-hour clock. So that's why they did that. So the sections don't count against your clock, but they did not say that the long section has to be first. It doesn't say that in there. So, and you can do it that way still today. So, I don't know. So there you go. Ivan Drad from Rocky IV. Yeah, right. The guy from Rocky IV. I just wonder how you got a hold of Dolph Lundgren. At this point, I wouldn't know. Is he in the book? I don't know. Still horses off today like usual. That's pretty awesome. Mondays off. I always like to having weekdays off because you can get stuff done. You need to go, of course now everything's closed, but you need to go to DMV, you need to go do something, you can get stuff done. Everybody's at work, but not you. Bobby Clark here at GP Transco. I do feel like I'm treated like a professional and enjoy working for them. That's awesome. That's half the battle of any job, is liking where you work. So, and it works both ways. When people like where they work, they do better, they do better work for the company because we're all there to make the company money, me and everybody else. And so I think it works. It's a big circle. Some companies have that figured out, and then some don't care. So there you go. Benji, will Over the Road ever get better, or will they continue to hire people that aren't educated on the industry so the company can use them up and underpay them? Well, I don't know. I mean, there's two sides to that. You can't come into the industry all knowledgeable about the industry. You have to start somewhere, right? We all started somewhere. When everybody started driving, they didn't have any driving experience because you hadn't started driving yet. So I don't know. People need to educate themselves about the industry, certainly. And companies that are paying, a really low rate, they just lose drivers. Once people go out and get a couple of small books at the truck stop, the drivers quit, and they have to go hire more people because they're like, holy mackerel, I can make double digits per mile. So yeah, I don't know what the solution to that is. Al Johns, yeah, Dolph Lundgren. I don't know how they get big stars like Dolph Lundgren to do that. I would have no idea how to even contact this guy. Good morning. What's going on with the JCT lawsuit? All right, nothing at the moment. In February, the lawsuit against John Christner Trucking was certified as a class, over 3,000 drivers, so it got class certified by the court, and that's the last thing that happened to it. I assume they're I don't know. They're doing whatever lawyers do at this point, waiting for their next date. But it is certified, even though JCT, John Christner, didn't want them to. It's certified as a class. What will happen? I don't know. I think they'll settle like most of these companies do. But that's up to them, certainly. I'll follow. As soon as they say something more about it, I will follow it. Selective carriers tend to hire experienced and knowledgeable drivers and pay them well. Yes, that's true. And that works out better for the carrier. I'm just saying, when you come in the industry, you don't know anything. Everybody starts without all that knowledge. We can't all start with 10 years experience. Still, Horse did 3,600 miles last week, so business as usual. That is pretty good. That's pretty good. So you're still rolling like normal. Yeah, 200 pages. Thank you. Well, because a number of people commented to me, no, Mark, you can't do the small part first, because I said you can do the 3-hour or 2-hour and stop your clock that way and extend your day. And people said, oh, you can't do that. It has to be the big section first. And I thought, all right, let's go to the actual document and read this whole stupid thing that the FMCSA put out. What do they say? Does it ever say that? No. All it says, it has to be 7.3 or 8.2 or more. Each section could be more. And each section now stops your 14-hour clock. They don't suggest that the first part has to be, the large part has to be first. Preacher Paul's checking in from partly cloudy and 60 degrees in Ritzville, Washington, wherever that is. All right. By the tunnel somewhere. Is it by the Needle? How about that? You updated your profile picture to your favorite photo of the truck. All right, that's pretty good. You're getting your usual 3,000. S. Isaacs gets 3,000 for usual. Some people didn't have a problem, and then here's Comcar going bankrupt. Super Trucker GP Transco paid for the sex change. I don't know about that. What's up, everybody? That'd be a part of the thing. So if you make $19 an hour for 7 days, yikes, Monday through Saturday, get time and a half. How much is the time and a half an hour, Mark? I'm bad at math. Well, 19 an hour for 7 days. I don't know how many hours a day are you working. What's the total hours you work a week? So our local hardware store demands you wear a mask. If you don't, they have one they will sell you. How nice of them. I picked up a prescription for the wife at CVS the other day, and although I went to the drive-thru, they had a mask taped to the window there, and it said $1.99. So they didn't require you to have one at the drive-thru because they have a thing there, and they just open the little drawer up. But you could buy one at CVS for $2. I like that. They require it, and they'll sell you one. So that is nice of them. James Faust, good afternoon. It's good to see you. The heady trucker, once the DMV in Illinois finally opens up, I'll get to drive for the prestigious institutions of Swift or Western Express. There's always something to look forward to. And here in Indiana, they're open, and I think you have to make an appointment. I don't exactly know how it works, but they're open part of the time right now, and I assume they're plastered with people, because there's people running around with plates that have been expired for 30 days, and, paper plates and title transfers, everything. Now, Rider Trucker, anybody know of a company in Fort Worth? I'm looking for a better job. I've been driving 5 years. Yeah, Out West Express is probably out there. Yeah. It's going to be a 3,000-mile week. GP Transco's there. You could go to Central Oregon if you want to go that way. It's going to be 3,000 miles. South Carolina to Pennsylvania to South Carolina. Boy, what a disaster. $100 a layover and $200 a stop. You got a layover with all that stuff, too? Yikes. What does being treated like a professional mean? Might be different to each individual. Maybe. I think that, being treated like a professional at a trucking company is rather than something like, oh, this, here, we had a change in this, and so this has to be done. They would be like, okay, so this needs to really be here at 10. What can we do? Can we get this? They give you the latitude to drive the truck. That you're part of it. They defer to you. That's what I find to be the best part of waking up, really, and because I don't drink coffee. So, but that's what I find to be professional. The things about the truck, things like that, they defer to you, whether they drive or not in the office. They defer that to you because you're the one on the scene. If you say this can't be done or whatever, they just take it at that. Like this, if I ask them for something like, oh, this handle's bent, I need a handle, they just, okay, get a handle, or they'll send a handle out. Not, oh, well, what do you mean? Send us a picture and all that, then you feel like you're an idiot. So, but that to me, right, the truck part of it is you. And they don't give you a fuel stop. Here, you must fuel 36 gallons here. Okay, that kind of thing is aggravating. Here's the exact route. If you're off this route, you have to call us. There are companies like that not only do they give you a route, but if you get off that route, you have to call them and tell them why you're not on that route. Okay, no, I should be able to make the decision. Indianapolis is always a great thing. Maybe downtown there's an accident. Okay, I go around 465. All right, but some companies, you can't do that without calling them. That kind of thing is crazy on the road. That kind of thing is crazy. Joseph, I hope you're well. I finally had a roller wiener in South Dakota. Wasn't it delicious? It's like the best part of your life, getting your first roller wiener. So good. And finally, you can go get them yourself, too. You don't have to have the clerk touching all the wieners right there in front of you, because that's always annoying. Beta is waiting for a load in Fort Wayne. All right. Well, GM just opened the plant up there, so maybe you can pick up a pickup truck or something. You can pay any celebrity on Cameo to record a shout-out. Yeah, but I don't know. All I'm saying is, how do you get a hold of Dolph Lundgren to get this guy to do a shout-out? I think it's super cool. Look, maybe he'll shout me out. That'd be great. I love Dolph Lundgren. Do a video explaining the new hours. Yes, I'm going to do a new hours of service video. I didn't know if it should go out this early, though, because the hours of service aren't going into effect in September, until September, and I didn't want people to start using the new hours of service right now. So that is a problem. Q sent you? Oh, from the Q dimension? The 93-95 split, right. You should be able to make your choice right there. My usual weekly miles is 2,600. Talking to my DM to try to hit 3,000. Look, 2,600 at a good rate of pay. That's not a bad week. I don't want to be out there, killing it, being all tired all week. Highway Transport and Nalcor, some local tanker companies. Okay. Poly Trucking, where I'm at now, in DFW. Oh, really? Okay. The new rules change is going to be great for owner-operators. I don't think so. What it does to owner-operators is going to reduce rates. It's going to reduce rates. So, because the more people can work, okay, the lower the rates are, because you'll need less trucks. Owner-operators, if they're smart, would want the hours limited to 40 hours a week, because rates would go way up because they would need more drivers. So that's the thing. If you let people work 100 hours, the rates go down. Look at now. Look at how low the rates are, because drivers can drive as far as they want. I didn't get my tag for my new Mustang. Well, you're still on a paper plate, I hope, and the dealer, if it's brand new, you got it at a dealer, they should renew your paper plate for you if you go back over there. And that would cost you here in Indiana, depending on the Mustang, $500-600 for your plate. Just had to help an England driver into an easy dock. Tandem's all the way back. Right drives and steer over the curb in the mud. Yikes. A foot from a pole. She had no clue what she was doing. Felt bad for her. And the thing, right, and me too. If she was by herself, she was put out too early driving. And what's going to happen? She's going to quit. She's either going to get in a couple accidents and get fired, or it's going to be so frustrating that she's going to quit the industry. And it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't. It's sad. And then the company, England, goes to the government and says, well, we don't have any drivers. Well, you're running them off. Is it just me, or flatbedders getting less loads? It's probably just you. It seems like flatbeds are not getting the loads that they said that they were getting before. So that is down. It should be down. Dolph literally says, don't worry, you're like a piece of iron to truckers in the shout-out video. That's going to be great, Dolph Lundgren. If he has GP Transco gear on, that's going to be super awesome. We won in the state Supreme Court in Wisconsin. Yes, I have that written down here. And running full bore. People need to remember. We the people. I know. Wisconsin. So the Wisconsin Supreme Court overturned the governor's stay-at-home order as illegal. Exactly. That's what I've always said. Go out. Restaurants, businesses should have never closed. They had no right to close a business, and so they shouldn't close. And Wisconsin overturned everything. They got to open everything right immediately because the Supreme Court overturned it. I love it. That's the way it should have been all along. I don't know what people are afraid of the government, okay? There's more of us than them. People have to remember that. Holy mackerel. Well, for example, one stock yellow is $1.48 this week. $1.48, but our favorite Roadrunner is down to $2.04, so they're very close. And as an astute viewer said this week and sent in, Yellow missed some payments to their health insurance. They had some people laid off and were paying the health insurance, and I have a copy of the letter that some of the people got. Turns out they're not going to pay the health insurance anymore, so the health insurance is going to be canceled if Yellow doesn't fork over some money that they said they would. And they also missed a pension payment a while ago. This place might go to the top of Death Watch over Roadrunner. Really. It might go over the top to Roadrunner. Todd, give a shout out to all drivers during all this pandemic that they're doing a great job. Yeah, they are doing a great job. The Meijer here is full. That's how I know drivers are going. Look, Meijer here is fully stocked. You don't hear it on the radio stations to truck drivers, so way to go. Yeah, absolutely. I'm right. I'm glad that everybody's still out there mostly working. And when you go to the store still has stuff in it. And that's what matters. Right. I go in the store and everything is full. Meijer's completely filled back up again. So $19 an hour a day, and I made $19 an hour in 97. Well, that's true. I was wondering how many hours it was. You know, your truck card cap expired April 30th, but we apparently have an extension because the DOT is closed. Yeah, they probably extended just like the cars. Here they got extended, I think, to the end of May, but they may extend it again here. So if your license, your plate, anything expired, they weren't pulling people over for that. LTL, hazmat, tanker, and some private carriers are the way to go for local or regional work. That's correct. Good day, degenerates. Hello, the shocker. D-Boy611, hello there. Well, after 2 months off, you're going to get to drive a couple days this week. That sounds like something really exciting. Or is it? After 2 months off, it must feel like drudgery almost to go back to work after being home for 2 months. The heady trucker, I know, I saw that Wisconsin did that. Glad for the people of Wisconsin. Other states are suing too, especially that goofball in Michigan, if I go political just for a moment. You couldn't even travel, according to them, to your own home. If you had a second home somewhere on a lake, you weren't even allowed to do that. Who does that? Just go out and live your life. That's why I'm out purposely outside. Okay, I'm just out. I'm out. Okay, they're not going to stop me from going outside. I have a get out a free to travel paper too called the Constitution. Just carry that around. Okay, they don't get to just lock you in your house by edict. I'm still rolling 3,600 to 4,000 miles a week with hazmat company. Yikes, man, the people are really working. You're picking up, I think some of that, unless it was always before, some of that you might be picking up freight from slower places now too. Because I got letters too this week of people running 1,000 miles. So, Benji, private carriers tend to have a lot more micromanagement than a regular third-party carrier. I don't know. It depends on the carrier. You know, a private carrier, some are good, it's just like every place else. All depends on management. Big Nate Jobber, sorry I'm late. Well, it's good to see you here today. Gaseous King Trucking, what's happening? How's it going out there? How's Pete life treating you? I only drive between 8 and 10 hours a day. That's it. That's enough. I mean, after 10 hours plus your hour pre-trip, hour post-trip, that makes for a long day. Poly Trucking's in Grand Prairie, Texas. Yeah, and you get hub miles there, which I think is pretty good. Always fuel stops should be at your discretion. I don't mind if they give you a book or say, we fill up at every pilot flying J, that kind of thing. That's one thing, and you get to pick it. But there are places that say, okay, on your route, you must stop at this pilot, East St. Louis pilot, and you must get 41 gallons. That's super aggravating. Are there any companies that can't use the FMCSA exemption from the executive order? Yeah, the exemption currently from the executive order only allows companies to use it for exempt freight, for direct relief efforts, that kind of stuff. So anything that's not that, you're not allowed to use it. And then it's up to your company. Some companies haul this stuff and don't allow their drivers to use it. They don't allow people to use it. So it's always up to the company, but it's not company by company. It's kind of load by load. George Wilson made $19 an hour driving extra board Dominic's. There's one in Lansing growing up as a little kid, right? I lived in Lansing, Illinois. And there's a Dominic's, or there used to be. I haven't been up there in so long. Oh my gosh. Torrance and 94. So you probably know where that is. In Lansing. Is that still a Dominic's? We never shopped there. Super expensive. So it expired on the 17th. Nice. Can you cash a com check at a bank? Yes. Oh, yes, you can cash a com check at a bank. I've done it. You have to bring the com check in. Or at least that's how I did it. Because I had a com check. I don't remember why now, but I had a com check number, and I called the bank, and they're like, if you bring the com check in, you can, because it's just another money transfer system. So call the bank, but yes, I was able to cash it at the bank. But it was my bank, too, so I don't know if you can just go to any random bank. But I was able to cash a com check. Yep. Bobby Clark, my DM sent you next load this morning and asked me what I thought about the load, giving me the decision on how to plan the load. I go, I'm not happy with it. Does it say New York City on it? As celebrities become more desperate for work, they will do birthday parties and bar mitzvahs. Oh, I can get a celebrity to do a bar mitzvah? That's pretty good. I got a birthday coming up. You know what? I could see if Dolph Lundgren could come to my birthday. We can rest easy. Cash is King is in the house. No doubt about that. I'm flatbed in the past weeks are the busiest weeks you've been of the year. They did say, well, it did say that, like DAT load board said, loads are down on flatbeds. That's what it said because of housing starts mainly. Construction and housing starts were down. Right now, produce is picking up. And so a lot of the reefer loads are going to go over to pick up all this produce, and that should help a little bit spreading freight out. Apparently from some owner-operators that write to me, rates are coming up again, probably because of all the people honking in Washington, D.C. I'm sure that's helping. Every new guy leaves after 90 days. Yeah, and it's their fault. It's their fault. If people can't back up, they're just going to get frustrated at their job, and they can't back up because the trainer is no good. Their trainer didn't show them anything. So what was I thinking going to Landstar for 65% of $1 a mile? Does Landstar have $1 a mile loads out there on the boards? If you go to IMDb and type in an actor's name, it will give their contact information. Oh, I can just go right there and get them right there? That's sweet. Dolph Lundgren, here we come. So that's going to be pretty good. Hello, Fleet Nav Systems. It's good to see you here today. I have a Fleet Nav here today in the house. They go live every Tuesday, by the way, in case you haven't been there, to their Fleet Nav site. Let's see if I can get this thing going here again. We've slowed down. There's Fleet Nav Systems. Clicking buttons. All right, so Fleet Nav Systems is here. Thank you for being here. And they're live every Tuesday and Friday at 3 p.m. Tuesday show is amazing. They had a lightning round at the end of the show. Get all the questions right, and you never know what they'll give you. So it's pretty good. They're hard questions. They could be on any subject. I didn't know the capital of Bulgaria, so I wasn't able to get the last question. So thank you for being here today. And, of course, always with the disclaimers as well. Husbands of flatbed drivers have been busy, but we're just told yesterday their company filed for bankruptcy. So has he worked for CT? He probably works for CT then, right? Or CTL, MCT, right. One of the CCC companies, Comcast? Yeah. Comcar, right. I think Comcast. The government has more F-35 jet and Apache helicopters than we do. That's true. That's true. The thing is that the government shooting civilians doesn't go good on social media. That's what we've got to remember. That's what people forgot when we were trying to take over Area 51. They were scared, but the government's not going to shoot you on social media. 1984 Chevy had a terrible weekend. Transmission went out in your dad's Dodge. Deer screaming intensifies. That's not great. Of course, when has Chrysler ever been known for their transmissions? Maybe in the 70s, 60s with the 727 automatic. That's been their last good one, right? Scared of Bigfoot, got a red light ticket. They didn't care about any COVID-19. The courts wanted the money, I'm sure, because they can give you the red light ticket without being there. Clouding 64 in Minneapolis. That's pretty good for up there. And you want a service member to operate those, most of which won't use against U.S. citizens. You'll also get all the vets. Look, they cannot shoot everybody with an Apache helicopter, not when everybody's live streaming everything. Does GP transcribe pet insurance? My cat thinks it's a dog, so he'll need that surgery. I don't know about that. I carry pet insurance through the vet. So there you go. Rebel Stillskin's checking in. It's good to see you. The Shocker, what's happening? What about CTI filing Chapter 11 and selling off? Yes, Comcar, CCC filed, not CTI, which is a refrigerated carrier. I don't want them to be calling up. We're still going. Here's the thing about this at Comcar. They sold each division. They have these different divisions. Now, two of them, they didn't say who they sold them to. Okay, so they sold CTL to Service Transport. I think that's the tankers. They sold CT to PS Logistics, which is a huge third-party logistics company. But they sold MCT to White Willow Holdings. Does anybody remember White Willow Holdings? Think about that for a minute. White Willow Holdings. By the way, Comcar has 4,000 trucks and 4,500 drivers is what they say. So you can be served wieners at Love's with condiments in little pouches. That sounds interesting. So they're covering the wieners up, basically? Oh, you should always cover them, right? I mean, that's just good policy. I thought Dominic's was out of business. I'll tell you, I haven't been by that Dominic's in a long time. So I don't know if that Dominic's is still open. We never shop there because they're so expensive. So my mom, I mean, to get a nickel out of her, oh my gosh, you'd squeeze her and even a nickel wouldn't come out. So just Third Thunder, but it's 2020, might be Godzilla. Yeah, it could be just a horde of murder hornets. Who knows what it is? What do you think of the YouTube channel This Guy Trucks? I don't know. I haven't watched any videos from there, so I don't know. I don't know about it. Bread Monkey Trucking, what's going on? I thought Dominic's OK was out of business. I don't know. Looking at R&R out of Lakeport, Minnesota, and Carson, California. Hourly in the 11 Western. When I worked at England, they started sending me fuel routing and limiting how much I could get. A lot of companies do that. I just didn't follow it. Eventually, they stopped telling me where to go. Well, that's nice. Some companies really enforce it. They'll enforce it on you. So that's not great. The route, and then here you must fuel and only get 41 gallons or whatever. That's so aggravating. It's so aggravating. That's for somebody that needs their handheld 24 hours a day, and that's just not. I'm not going to be able to tolerate that. And they're going to lose experienced drivers that way. I would never tolerate that. Oh, you can only fuel here for 40 gallons. I've seen one person sent me a thing that was like for 14 gallons. Who stops for 14 gallons of fuel? I put that in a car before. Hello from Idaho, picking up potatoes, going to Michigan. All right, bring some spuds over here. I'm almost out of chips here. GP Transco here in Illinois, all the Dominic stores closed down or were bought by Mariano's at higher-end grocery store. It would have to be, right? Because Dominic's was as super expensive as it was. So what's up with that one on Torrance? There's rumors the Western Express is going to file for bankruptcy. Really? Have you heard anything? They're having us move empty trailers. Are all the empty trailers going to one place? Oh my gosh, I'll get Dolph Lundgren for that. That would be a real celebration. But are you moving all the trailers like to one yard or anything like that? Holy moly. Georgia has appointment only with the DMV. That's what they're doing here. Appointment only. Can you have a feeling break? Yeah. Who's out here today? So let's see. Bridget hasn't been on here. Look at Bridgie. Oh, that cat. She was a good cat. So living back with her owner and her master. I guess her provider, service person, I guess. In Terre Haute. Bridget. So, learned to back up with a U-Haul 4x8 when I was 15. Wow. My dad wouldn't let me drive. Only drove the car for the driving test. That's it. I took that driving test in a Dodge Omni. 81 or 82, it seems like, Omni. Took that driving test. That's it. I got my permit, which was written in Indiana at that time. I never took driver's ed. Wasn't required. I don't think it still is. So I went in like right before service. He said, you're going to need a license in the service. So I go in there. He drove me to the thing. I got to drive the car for that, and he drove home. That's it. Never drove that car until he died. And then I went up there, stayed there for a week, getting everything settled and everything, and then was driving his car around then. And I thought, I wonder what he'd think about this now. So, because the wife had the car, our car, he really had one car at that time. Don't tell me that. That would really be something if they would file bankruptcy. All I've been hauling is structural steel. Yeah, no home stuff yet, but the mortgages are down, but people weren't buying houses yet, so that's coming. Dominic's has been gone for 9 years. See, I haven't been up there in a long time, up until Lansing area. We'll be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. tomorrow and Friday. Different timing on the show because some mandatory meetings we'll be attending. Yikes. Well, I can't change the slide. I'm sorry. So they'll be live at 11 a.m. Eastern time early. So get up early and get in on the show. So mandatory meetings. Aren't meetings great? I don't go to New York City, but I do talk to your DM and tell them the kind of loads I would like to do. Usually does a good job at it. Oh, yeah, light and fast. How about that? I've seen a Creek carrier truck pulling a container a couple days ago in North Carolina. I'm not surprised by that, certainly. Walmart will cash a comp check. Oh, okay, you can Walmart it also. Dodge dead on the day guarantee expires. Nice. Look, ever since they got away from that 727 transmission and went to the 4-speed automatics and stuff, they just have not been great on transmissions. They're just not. Prime company drivers that have micromanagement for fuel too. That's horrible. It's so aggravating. It's so aggravating. Let's see, where did I go off to? I lost myself. That's the GP Transco is Mariano's grocery store is owned by Kroger. That explains why it's a higher end grocery store. Hauling siding and shingles for ABC Company. All right, for Minneapolis. CT's been struggling for a while. Really? That's a shame. We can't find out why the fuel system is not priming up so it can start. That's a problem too. No starty, no goey. So he works for CT in the flatbed division, but they're not closing. So at least he's not like losing his job immediately. It said all the divisions will stay open. So at least he's got that which is good. If your cat has vet insurance, you take them to the VA. Oh, that's pretty good. But seriously, the cat has The cat has insurance. Had a large bird hit my windshield. Time for a windshield. This guy trucks is hilarious. I'll have to check it out. I've never seen it. Good to see you, Mark. Ryan, haven't checked in for a long time. Glad you're still at it. I did like you the best at the Activity Week. I thank you very much, and thank you for coming back here. Jeremy and Selena quit the business, missed their channel. Yeah, the last I saw them, I guess they were at home and they had sold their truck or were going to sell it, and that's the last I heard of them. So, yeah, White Willow Holdings, exactly. He's now on doing Sunday rants. I do some of those too. Prime company drivers have that micromanagement for fuel. That's horrible. I would have put 43.5 gallons to irk their nerves. The problem is, a lot of drivers said that sometimes the fuel guard cuts off at a certain amount of gallons as well. So, scared of Bigfoot, Piggly Wiggly. We don't have a Piggly Wiggly here this far. They're mostly through the southeast, right? There's some in Wisconsin, though, too, for some reason. We have the fuel route, but we're not micromanaged, so we can really fill up wherever. Look, I don't even mind the company sending you how they're routing you. We're paying you this many miles, and here's the route. And so that's okay with me. I don't mind any of that. But, to say you must stop here and get X gallons, that's too much. And if you need to go run a backup or whatever, you have to call us if you get off the highway or if you get off of this route. No. I'll figure the best route. Believe me, I'm not going to go way out of route. It doesn't pay anything extra. So the mileage pay that most companies have discourages you from doing a lot of out of route miles. So, and they can see if you're doing a ton of extra miles and see where the truck goes. Dogs have owners, cats have slaves. Yes, exactly. That's exactly true. Make my bed, feed me, everything right. Move over so I can sleep. Let's see. This guy trucks. It's great. We're on his live show yesterday, actually. Oh, really? All right. Well, I don't know anything about it. I'm behind the curve on that. Can't be here too long today. We'll be out by 2-ish. If you guys have ELD questions, happy to answer. Or tomorrow on the show or in the lightning round. Either way, of course, because we've got that. Air Gunner Bob, thank you very much. First day back over the road from 5 days home. Hope you're doing well. Doing great here. It's super good, and I hope it's going good over there. Yeah, all life is great because as long as you wake up, right, the life is all set for you, really, I think so. And I've got my spot back here. When I worked for Celadon, I would stop for fuel when and where they wanted me to, but I would always fill the truck up despite what they wanted you to do, not wasting my time. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. They'll say, okay, stop here, but get this amount of gallons. Crazy. Okay, I'll determine by the weight in the truck and where I'm going and when I need to stop, how much fuel I'll get. That's the benefit that companies like that, Celadon and other companies, don't realize that you get with an experienced driver. I'll run the truck. I got it all figured out, okay? You don't have to do anything. I'll be on time. I'll get fuel. We're all set. Just leave me alone. That's what I want from a company. Don't bother me. They like to slide anywhere. Okay, I can't get it changed out. They had me bobtailing 500 miles to pick up an empty from North Carolina to Florida. Wow. I'll say, have you missed a check or anything yet? I mean, that's kind of worrisome. So why would they have you pick up an empty to, go that far to get an empty? I don't know. Crete's been hauling containers for a while in Savannah. Yeah, I think they're all branching out into that kind of stuff. Are they their own containers? Crete runs the port of Wilmington. They've been doing that for years. Poor pay. That's not surprising. J.R. Schugel used to have a fuel book, but they switched over to that fuel routing. I don't, as long as they'll let you fuel wherever you want. But if they're doing routing where you have to stay here, stay on this route, must fuel here and that's aggravating. And all it does is make experienced drivers leave. That's what it does. You talked about beer quite a bit with him. Really? This guy truck should come here too. Yeah, everybody's welcome, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Red light cameras are null and void. Only a certified peace officer and issue a citation. Many municipalities have axed the cameras due to people winning in the state Supreme Court. Well, I would say if it's points, I would certainly talk to a lawyer about it. If anything with points, I would always see a lawyer. Freightliner has a creep gear, but Packard just has a creep in gear. Seen many smashed trailers going into a dock. Now, the automatics aren't as bad as they were. Everybody remembers 10, 12 years ago, the early automatics that came out, they were horrible. They were horrible. They're a lot better than they were. I'm tempted to take a dedicated route instead of all 48, better pay. It's the job itself for me. So you know where you're going every day. I'm going here, then I'm back, then I'm back. To me, a dedicated route is doing the same thing. Some companies say, oh, East dedicated is everything east of Nevada. They consider that like dedicated. No, that's not dedicated. But if it's the same thing, you'll have an easier time of it. Speaking of transmissions, how about that Super 10? That might have been the only thing that improved the new those Dodge 4-speed Ultra Drive transmissions. The Super 10. Oh my gosh. That'll probably be after the apocalypse. That'll be the only truck running. It'll be something with a Super 10 in it. Stevens Transport as a company driver. That would be my luck. Something like the Burgess Meredith Twilight Zone episode where he's the last person left and there's one vehicle and it's a Super 10. And I'm stuck with this thing. Stevens Transport as a company driver are told where and sometimes how much to fuel. To get their lease, drivers are given recommendations on where and how much. Well, yeah, certainly. If you lease, even though I'm not a fan of that, you're still making a payment on the truck. You should be able to fill up anywhere you want. Anywhere. Their card should be open. Open. Fuel card for anybody that makes a truck payment. If it's not an open fuel card, you're out. But company drivers, sometimes how much to fuel? No. We're working on getting extra large Kenworths for some of our team drivers, teal ones. They have, what do you mean by extra large? That 72-inch or 80-inch sleep or something? That'd really be something. How about an extra large Western Star? Let know how it works out. Yeah, I don't know how big it would be, but that's not a bad idea. I bet teams would like it too. Let's see. No, I haven't gotten the truck. I haven't gotten an address. I don't know if my box. I had a P.O. box problem, so hauled a couple of Piggly Wiggly loads in Wisconsin during yes. Okay, yeah, there's some in Wisconsin, and then there's some like down south, but they totally skipped me. I don't have any good stores here. I don't have Bojangles. We don't have Popeyes. No Piggly Wiggly. Heck, Hardee's just opened up a few months ago. Thanks for running over the road, Air Gunner. I remember you said to stop hauling cheap broker freight. I agree. What if you need to make a living? What do you do? Well, I'm a company driver, okay? So the cheap freight never came to me. And there's times, I assume, when you own a truck that you're better off taking freight that at least pays the bills than sitting. If you sit, I've seen people that say, well, I'm going to sit this whole week rather than haul something for 90 cents. Well, 90 cents gets you somewhere where you can make $2. Aren't you better off taking that and then getting this other freight? It's about running a business. That's how I think of it. You know, I don't own a truck though, so I don't care what the freight. If it goes to 10 cents, that's the company's problem. If it goes to $4, then that's their problem too. They get more. If it goes less than they pay me with the benefits and everything, then they lose money. But that's part of being a company. I don't have to worry about it. So there's always the possibility of being a company driver. And that's not being facetious. I mean, it could come to that where if you can't make your payments, rather than, going broke or whatever, it's always better to try to do something with yourself. But 90 cents might get you to a better paying load. There might be reason to haul that load. If there isn't, then I guess it sits there. But every day there's costs involved in sitting. You're not making any money. That's not great. That's not running a business. Making no money is not business. A good place for business. Miller says the fueling program, but as long as you're 80% compliant, you're good. And it's still aggravating. How about just let me fuel the truck? How about that? Terrible day delivering flowers at Walmart. Management keeps giving me different places to park. Walmart. So you're taking flowers at Walmart? That's got to be an interesting load. It should be light. How many docks could they possibly have? Oh, I guess if it's a distribution center. Thanks for everybody running. These days and always, it's nice to have food on the shelves. Yeah, it's super great. The stores are full. Drivers are running. A lot of them don't have any kind of way to get tested. Don't have masks. Don't have anything, right? You can't buy anything at the stores. Stuff like that. Yeah. And yet here still drivers are out here. And what happens to them? In 2 months, we're going to be forgotten, as usual. GP Transco lets you get fuel wherever you want, unless it is some obscure place. You'd get 50 gallons to get to a name brand. Yeah, well, right. They don't want you going to Joe Schmo's fuel stop. But if it's a name brand place, then you can decide where to fuel the truck. And sure, it might cost them a few cents, a dime, I don't know how much extra. But they're saving time because I'm not going to go in a place that's got a big line. I don't want to sit there in line. So I'd rather go in and get back out. I think that's a better way to do it. Caleb, your friend works for Stevens and can only fuel where and when they tell him cannot go over 8% of miles each trip or comes out of his paycheck. I don't think they can take it out of his check. Okay, I'm not a lawyer. Where's Fleet Nav to put up a disclaimer for me? I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think they can withhold his wages. Okay, so I tell everybody that has their wages withheld for any reason like this to immediately file with the state and say, I have had my wages withheld wrongly from my company, and let him explain to the state why he should make payments on the truck. That's one thing. But number two, leave. Okay, that's not place not worth working there if they withhold wages. Your fiance just told me I'm getting a dog for my birthday, so I'll have a new driving buddy. That's great. Take a picture. I know GP Transco loves all the pictures of the pets that they get. If you're over the road and trying to fuel in 50-gallon increments, what are you doing then? I just did that to get my free shower for the day. I've done that before. Sometimes on the road I would fill up in like late morning or whatever for my stop, and I'd get 50 gallons or whatever, 51 gallons. Then later in the day fill up again, and then that lets a few showers accumulate. This is before you could get unlimited showers or whatever, and you'd have a few accumulated on there so that you always had a shower available no matter when you stopped. So absolutely. Schneider does that with the fuel as well. I don't like it. I just think it's aggravating. It aggravates me personally. So maybe people go through it and it's okay for them, but to me, I'd be aggravated all day for that. The last company told me when to fuel. They told me how long I can have the AC and heat, no idling. No thank you. How about no thank you? Big money is a pop or beer route or food service. You better be in top physical condition. Yeah, like Cisco or whatever, you're going to do a lot of work. You're going to do work for that. Red Monkey Trucking wants their long Kenworth. That's going to be pretty nice. I do like regular over the road. I just don't want to go into a city. Personally, I can't smoke enough cigarettes to stay calm for that. I just like this is another personal thing that I like, knowing where I'm going to go, and then you basically know how much you're going to make every week too if you did the same thing. Bring donuts a few times. Everybody gets used to you. It makes your day go by a lot smoother. You know where to park. You know where to fuel. Everything. You know where all the potholes are in the road. I think it's a great deal. We don't tell drivers what location to use for fuel at GP Transco. We work with all the major fuel places just to make sure you fill up your tanks every time. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's way better, and drivers then can pick, okay, I know this Pilot is garbage, so I'm going to go down there. I'd probably fill up at Love's all the time. That's how I would do it to get my Love's points because they're usually faster too. But yeah, absolutely. That's way better. As long as it's not some dinky place, there's no reason then. With an open fuel like that, there's no reason to run out of fuel either. Although you probably get people that run out of fuel with hundreds of drivers. That's got to be aggravating. Yeah, those GP Transco, where you with those Western Stars? Which companies where you make that decision? Let's get those big Western Stars going. Truck of the week. Yeah, I have a couple of old trucks here. This one is probably more common. Let's see if I can get this thing down here. Let's see here. Okay, so this truck. Does anybody remember this kind of truck here? How about this truck? I'd never heard of this either. So, but apparently after reading about it, it's more common than I thought. So, yeah. And that is 72. So it said. So we'll see what people think about that. If I can get this going here. For some reason we're running slow today. I don't know. 6-year-old computer, you'd think it would run faster. Cash King is dedicated to the lower 48. Yeah, so that's look, companies would say that. They go, okay, you're on a dedicated run in the United States. It's because fuel prices can vary. Drivers don't understand IFTA and constantly send money out the stack. Man, well, I mean, that's part of being a company driver. But what companies don't realize is I save money because I don't go to places where I got to wait 90 minutes. I've gone by places, which I'm sure everybody has, and there's 3 or 4 trucks deep waiting for fuel because they have to stay there. Do you think that's better to sit there and idle for an hour? I can go down the street and be in and out of a place, a quick place like a Pacific Pride or whatever, in 5 minutes, fueling, and I'm back on the road, not wasting my time, getting more miles for the company and more miles for myself. Columbia, George, at the end of the show, you should have a lightning round with all questions about roller wiener trivia. Oh, when was the first roller wiener discovered? Well, it was an archaeologist that got one. Came out of a second retirement for this mess instead of being frozen in the Northwoods of Wisconsin. S. Isaacs. Do you think this is better than being frozen? It probably is. Or would you rather just let it go? See, how about that, Alexander? Sorry I'm late. I'm on 67 northbound. Yikes. What's going on? It's good to see you. We'll let you know once we have more info on these large trucks. It'll only be for teams that have been with us for a year. Oh, okay. That's not a bad upgrade though. Teams like Volvos, they do. Well, yeah. How about you did a survey the teams. Although I don't know how many teams you have there. Would you switch carrier purely because of the truck model? No Western Stars here yet. No, I certainly wouldn't switch just for the truck. Just for the truck. Yes, I would. Western Star would absolutely sell my children for. All right. Well, look, I like Western Stars too. I don't think I'd quit companies over the truck. I would quit a company if they had garbage trucks. That nothing worked and you couldn't get them fixed. I think that's worth quitting. But for style of show, no. If you're bored tomorrow at 11, I would love to have a call on the show and talk about it. Yes, call in before the lightning round. We usually ask our drivers which trucks they would want and get the trucks that majority say. The team started they liked Kenworth a few months ago. Okay. You can take out credit cards in your kids' names and buy a Western Star. That's not a bad idea. Retired after 20-year telecommunications design and test engineer. That sounds fancy. Took a year, got bored, and learned this 10 years, retired last May. Wow. Either way, if we got Western Stars, it would be for drivers with 1 or 2 million miles with us as a special thank you. That's not a bad idea. Put that out and say, look, 2 million safe miles at GP Transco, and you can pick out a Western Star. You guys get to spec the engine stuff or so, but yeah, you get a 13-speed, 600-horse Western Star after 2 million safe miles with the company. No tickets, no accidents. And they print your name on the door, your handle, flat footer, or whatever it is. Yeah, that's a good idea. Delivering flowers to Walmart stores that I'm using a liftgate. Oh, well, at least they're not heavy. Tow trucking is another one of those essential jobs that everyone forgets about. Yeah, if you break down, you need a tow truck. Absolutely. I'm always scared of those guys. I get a flat, and it's always on the street side. Shoot, truckers were forgotten a month ago. Any posts about thanking essential workers always leaves out truckers. Essential workers leaves a bad taste. I never liked the essential worker thing because that just splits people apart from everybody else. I don't know. And this heroes bill, I'm sure as you saw, for the extra $25,000, the Democrats passed it in the House. It was close, 209 to 199 or something like that. It was really close. But the Senate said no way. So as of right now, that had a second stimulus in it. That's not coming. $25,000 at the moment is not coming. So none of that's coming. Red Monkey Trucking, we tried to get a bigger Volvo, but got a Cascadia. We was concerned how the truck rides because sleep and space is important. I don't know. I think they ride good. I'm going to fuel at Max Meadows. Oh, that's the perk of an open fuel card. It's my discretion. Exactly. You're going to go to a place that you like, of course, but that's fast also if you need to get in and out of there. You're not going to sit in a long line because you like the place. There's a good restaurant in Indianapolis called the Ice House. We could walk there from the Werner terminal. Oh, okay. Omni was made in Belvedere, Illinois. Yeah, they're with the its twin, the Plymouth Horizon. But Dad always was a Dodge person. So we had it. We had a Dodge St. Regis. We had Dodge Omnis. So we had many Dodges throughout the years. He had a couple Dodge. I guess we had a Plymouth Fury wagon as a kid, but mostly Dodges. Remember when the auto stick back in the 2000s? Autos and semis have come a long way, yes. They used to break down. You couldn't find a mechanic within 300 miles. That's true. They are much better than they were. Steelhorse says the drivers say they love the Volvo for the storage. I like them for the ride. I think they look better. They're just set up better inside. But Western Star's just a little bit class. It's got that little bit of class. And they're quiet. They're so quiet. You shut the door, it's solid. It must have been a while ago, Al Johns, because I worked there last year. There was nothing close to Indianapolis Terminal. The whole place is going downhill. Thanks for doing it better review. Southern Cal Transport at Beaverton, Oregon, Topeka, Kansas, Halifax, North Carolina. You're quite welcome. I lost 40 pounds the first 3 months working at Cisco. I assume that was cartilage for my joints and my body, the way I felt. Going from, not doing any work and then getting a job at Cisco would be quite a shock to people. So you may want to work out a little bit before you go there. Do you buy trucks with the LED headlight package? I think all the new bodied Cascadias come with LED headlights. So my 18 has them on there, and believe me, if it was an upgrade, I wouldn't have them. So they must come with them. I could maybe understand telling a driver how to fuel for a short period as a rookie, especially if the training is rushed. Then you could say, look, this is how we feel, and this is why we're doing it. And you could even explain all the IFTA and everything else to them, and have some kind of fuel bonus system. But to just only lock it to one place and get a minimal amount of fuel, is super aggravating. When all the electric trucks take over, I hope they can produce an eco-friendly black steam because I like to roll coal. It'll be like a switch you could turn on, and it'll be some kind of biodegradable steam. Oh, you have the Loves at the 230? That's not far from here. I usually look for a place to fill up when I get around a half a tank left. Yeah, and if you did a dedicated run, certainly, then you have your day planned out. You know, I'm going to fill up here every day or whatever. That's why I like them. Sierra England has some Western Stars. They still didn't make them any better. For what England does have Western Stars, and they look pretty classy. Those look like the best trucks on there, really. I really like them. Must feed the squirrel once in a while for faster computer. I know. Well, the i3 Celeron is just not cutting it or whatever. Micromanaging is ridiculous. That occurs at my job, and it's frustrating to someone that knows what they're doing. Right. So you hire an experienced driver. Let them do their job. That's why you hire somebody. And especially after they've been there for a while, they know what they're doing. Thank God Starbucks is opening up. Hello from St. Louis. They've always been open here at the drive-thru, and the drive-thru line in the mornings is crazy. I've seen 10, 12 cars. Who waits that long at a Starbucks? Rockford, Illinois had a Piggly Wiggly right on, still close to the border, right? I'm just curious and a bit hypocritical. If a company is preaching about safety but doesn't have fog lights and LED headlights, it just makes them look entirely unserious. Well, they go, well, look, these lights have been good enough for 70 years or whatever. It isn't a problem. But yeah, I agree, right? We don't have the driving lights or anything because they're extra. The truck comes with LEDs, so they get them. And it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. And I think you should get them on your car, too. They make a big difference in the car. My co-op, I've been fueling it as $1.49. They will deliver it if I like for free. Wow. I'd rather fill it up. I'll do it myself. The mega fleet, the discount will negate any IFTA savings. All right, so then it doesn't matter. So what you're saying then at a mega fleet, because their discount they're getting, they might as well fill up wherever they want. You drive a T680 now and love it. Oh, that's pretty good. What companies offer pensions? Not many. Yellow for the next, 3 days while they're still open. Any of these union companies usually still have a pension with them. Holland, ABF, but I don't know how long they're going to be open. So not many. K-Bear Fuzzy Ears. We're a team and we love Volvos, but the next best is a Cascadia Freightliner. Right, but what about Western Star? Nobody throws it out there. GP Transco has a 401k with a 5% match. Yes. You drive a T16 Skyhopper. My door would say driver and guard cat. Look, after 2 million miles, I think that's fair, right? 2 million safe miles. Then you get to pick out a Western Star. How about that? And you get to pick a bunch of stuff out, and it kind of like Western does out there, Western Distribution. I trained in a Western Star cab over. Wow. In the 90s, probably none left on the road. Yeah. Wow. You trained in a Western Star cab over. I don't know if I've ever seen one of those. They could not have made that many of those Western Star cab overs. Even the cat is surprised to see that. And did I just not catch up? Or what about, what did it look like this cab over? That is something. That cab over. Western Star cab over. 19 hours of time and a half after 40, 6 to 6. How much is the time and a half? At 63 hours a week, well, you've got 23 hours of overtime at $27 an hour. That's $540 and 75, 615, 620 plus 40 at 19, which is 800, 760. Yeah, so there's what you got right there. How about that? Add that up. We got it. Was getting 10.4 miles per gallon in California. That's pretty good, too. Have you sent a cat into Mark to feature? That would be an awesome door sign. Yeah, if anybody's got a cat picture, I'll put it on the show. There's a driver I met and bought a brand new Western Star. He talks nothing but garbage about it. He claims they're built cheaper than a Freightliner. Maybe. I mean, they were always better than a Freightliner. They were the Lincoln to a Ford, basically, because they were the upgrade to Freightliner. It's built better, tighter tolerances and everything, I think. The ones I've experienced were always like that. Road service jobs are dangerous. I caught a flat on the driver's side with cars and big trucks missing them by inches. No one was moving over. I know, and I feel bad for those guys. But I'm always way out away from the truck. I thought, well, somebody's going to get killed. I guess it'll be that guy. I don't know. I mean, I can't stand there with him, so I'm getting enough fuel points to buy another Love's outfit. Travel bag, hat, mug with the Love's logo. Got to get those Love's points. Yeah, I would certainly stick with one place if you could, as long as you had an open fuel card. There aren't many trucking companies left that offer pensions. Usually it's a private carrier or union carrier. Yeah, it's very unusual in the industry to get a pension. All they need to do is open Illinois up and I can get the truck again. I don't need or want their dirty money. That would be great with every state, wouldn't it? And then we wouldn't have all these problems. The GP Transcover sending one to Alaska. Oh, that'd be a good load, wouldn't it? Most drivers do not see the benefit of a 401k and don't use it. Even when they're getting a match, the match is free money. That's free money that they're getting. They should certainly take the match money at least. If anyone's interested in GP Transco, just know after 6 was here, I could say that this place treats you well. They pay their drivers very good. It was completely worth it. I'm glad to hear somebody that works there thinks that it's good. That's always the best thing to say, really. Someone actually there. I was fast food an essential worker because people got to eat. We got to fill our face. I don't like the essential versus non-essential. I mean, if you're non-essential, then why are you working at all? I mean, everybody that needs money to live is an essential worker. So, and why is the government to decide what's an essential thing? You know, who do they get to say that to? And 2 million miles doesn't put any money in my bank. You should pay me more because I'm safer than others. Well, you would get a steel horse. I agree with you. I agree that, but presumably at a company you get raises going along. But it would be nice to get a truck, I think, if you've been somewhere 2 million miles. I mean, I'd like that as a benefit. I would really think that's great. And most drivers wouldn't get it. You would hardly have to pay anything for it. Because how many people get 2 million miles at one place? You know, stay at one place, 2 million, and then 2 million safe miles. It would hardly cost the company anything. I think I'll pick a W900 with a studio sleeper. Drove one for a while and loved it. That'd be good. I don't know if you'd get that at a company because of the fuel mileage problem. Ugh. Sent a picture last week because she's small. She rides in the passenger door and looks funny. Yeah, let's get the Fuzzy Nugget up here. This was, I had to blow it up to put it up on the screen there. There's Fuzzy Nugget, and she rides over there. So, very cute, but low res. How about that? That's a biz term. That's a biz term right there, right, Fleet Nav? All right. So, every good things about Bay and Bay. Bay and Bay. The red lights on the new Freightliner is an option. The LED lights. Well, I can't believe that they pay extra for it. And I've never seen the new bodied Freightliner without them on any company. So, anybody here from Bay and Bay, by the way? Was that truck a Hayes? It is a Hayes. It's a Hayes, 1972 Hayes cab over. Yikes. Some kind of Canadian version, although some of them came here. So, in a Canadian offshoot, right? I don't remember the whole story of it. You probably know more about it than me. Is 401k better than a pension? Really don't know. And how does the 5% match work? All right, yeah, how does that match work there? Have you heard about Pelosi putting into the stimulus bill $1,200 for illegals? Yeah, but the problem is, and a lot of that's going around the internet, and so the House passed this. It's not going anywhere, though. The Senate said no way. No way. They're not going to do it, so it's not going to go anywhere. A 5% 401k match is free money. Take it. I agree. I don't know why people wouldn't at least take the free part of the money. If they don't want to put more in, but I mean, they're getting free money from their company. No LED headlights on Freightliners is an upgrade, something like $50 a truck, but no Freightliner, no new-bodied Freightliner from any company I've ever seen, they don't have it. No company as I've ever seen doesn't have them. So, Stanley hello from El Paso, the dirge of trucking companies. So, what's going on in El Paso today? Is it nice and warm down there, by the way? Those red Timmy's is greater than Starbucks. I don't drink coffee, not a big coffee drinker, so those LED lights, like $1,200 a piece. They are expensive, right? I had a blinker went out and it was a whole assembly, so blinker goes out $1,200. They did tell us that when the trucks came in. They said if you have a light out, you have to go to the shop and they will give you a loaner truck. Have the shop give you a loaner and they will order one. They're not going to keep them in stock and you'll get your truck back the next day. That's what they said. So that's how much they cost. When can we see S. Isaac's cat? I just showed that cat up there. I hate LEDs. They're super bright. I have the Escape has xenons in it, which are just as good. So either way would be fine with me. Buy xenon lights in the Escape. In Oregon, I buy the amount of fuel to cover my miles driven in Oregon. But because you are paying for it or whatever, see, as a company driver, I don't care that much. And, because there's no incentive for me really to care other than I'm trying to get my work done. So I'm going to buy fuel in a place that's convenient to me. And that's just the way it is as a company driver, right? Unless you send the route or whatever, that's how I'm going to do it. The fastest place to get in and out of that gets me the thing that I want so I can get down the road. Yeah. And I'm going to try to go the same places. And that costs the company a little more? It does, probably. But I'm getting work done in a more efficient way. I miss my old international cab over when I drove for Schneider. They had tons of them. I was always thankful that the seatbelt kept my head from hitting the ceiling when driving down a rough stretch. That was a problem at truck school. Oh my gosh, that white Road Commander. The seat bouncy thing, well, that's the technical term for it, was little loose because the truck was old then. And going into Chicago interstates, oh my gosh, you'd bounce all the way to the top and then bottom out in the thing. And you're trying to hold the steering wheel. It was manual steering. So what a mess. I hate LED lights at night on wet roads. Can't see anything with them. They need to be re-aimed. Okay, so that is true. Daniel, hello from Oklahoma and Dollar General. Are you in the DG team or are you doing it from a third-party carrier? It's better to have your own IRA at a bank. Well, this is free money. I'm almost like, how can anything be better than free money? This is guaranteed money you get. What do you know about K&R? They pay by the hour, and that's all I know. I've never heard of them. Has anybody here heard of that place? So that's not true. Mega fleets get discounts, but with IFTA, prices can still vary 50 cents a gallon. This is why they tell you where to buy. Yeah, but then I leave there. That's the problem. See, like where I am, I have an open ComData card. I can fill up any place that takes ComData. They don't ever give any grief about it. And I think that's because they know it's just way better than having you sit around wasting your clock in a line. Because I'm not going to go anywhere that has a big line. I'm just not. So... if that's where if they're going to tell people where to buy and get a certain number of gallons, then I'm out. What they do, they lose experienced drivers for that. So they save money, but then they lose it on the experienced drivers. And so I'm more efficient than somebody that just started driving just from being in the industry. And so they're going to lose it on the time and make it up on the money. So looks like Bob the Cat I parked next to a few years ago. Oh, nice. If you make $100,000, I think you can deposit 20 into the 401k. Company will match your deposits up to 5%. In this example, the company gives you 5 into your 401k. I'm waiting to hear from GP Transco on how that exactly works at their company. Not crazy about the international low beams. Yeah, I'm not crazy about internationals. I was truly amazed when I saw advertising for Walmart needing drivers at a small dump truck stop. Walmart has hit a new extreme low. People put out Walmart like it's some kind of great place, and I'm not a fan. I wouldn't work there, and I don't recommend the place. I'm not slip seating a sleeper truck that I have to sleep in. Not going to happen. Okay, so just that, I'm out. And then they have all these other weird rules. You can only talk on the phone 10 minutes at a time, 6 times a day. And, there's a bunch of... It's very structured. Okay, so if you like a lot of structure in your day, that's probably would work out for people. So it might fit a lot of people. I know drivers stay there for many years. But for me, that's not going to work out for me. I don't like the work to give me so much structure. Just here's a job to do, and I'll go take care of it. That's it. You're hungry for some roller dogs? Yeah, get me an extra one. Poly Trucking has a 401k with 6% and profit sharing. Profit sharing is not bad. It's trying to rare to see a driver saying they miss an international, no doubt. We tend to hear not great things about them. They're horrible, right? They can go the way of the Hayes cab over. Safeway in Maryland closing in August. 700 jobs gone, including union drivers. Yeah, I mean, that's a real problem. Those drivers, fortunately, they'll be able to find something in August, hopefully. But, yeah, people think, oh, there's driving jobs. Some people are way high on it, and then some people are off. Steel Horse, your place has a 10% match. That's super good. You should certainly take at least the 10%, right? It's free money. It's literally free money from the company. And that's a really high match. That is a high match. Oh, you have GP Transco also has profit sharing. All right. Any opinion on combined transportation out of Oregon? Oh, what's going on at combined? I don't know anything about combined. To be fair, Pokey Trucking, which is Poly Trucking, isn't really a trucking company. They're a manufacturing company with trucks. I felt like a cowboy riding a bull that was trying to throw me when I drove the Schneider cab over. Look, it was a mess. Better than just listening to the CB radio. People that haven't experienced the wonderfulness of a cab over with these loose seats, you had both hands in the steering wheel because you were up and down. You'd hit the ground, and especially in Chicago, and then all the way to the ceiling and then back down. Oh yeah, you were all over the place. You got to work out just hanging on so you didn't die. Politicians are not essential. Notice none of them took a pay cut or anything. The heady trucker wants to work for GP Transco. Clear up your record. Trucking hasn't been kind. Yeah, keep your record clean. Always, everybody. That's good advice for everybody, really. Always keep a clean record because, look, like right now, you never know when you have to get another job. So at least you could try to move on somewhere, you know, where you have a good record. Fleet Nav is heading out. Have a great day and catch us on our live stream. Hope to see you, cute cat. All right. See you tomorrow. Thank you for being here. And let's see. Where did my... there'd that go? I'll put that up there. They're live at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Not and 11 Friday this week. But I didn't know that. At slide time. And don't forget about Jay also. He's going to be live tomorrow night. So you're up at 11. You can be up at 9 to see Jay. How about that? GP Transco, you need a job? We're talking about GP Transco. Hey, why don't you go give him a call? Check him out. Talk to him. And get a good job over there. Where you can be treated like you should be treated. Let's see. Where did I go off to? Prime trucks don't have the LEDs. Do they have any new bodied Cascadias without the LEDs? Not the older style, Evo Cascadia or whatever it was called, Evolution. Wonder if they have lease purchase at GP Transco and only lease program according to Recruiter. I wouldn't be a fan of it, so I don't know. Volvos are actually really smooth and built extremely well. That's true. That is true. Fleet Nav, we'll see you later. It's 93 and sunny. That's great. I'm thinking about getting one of those LED bars that have about 700 lights on them and made for off-roading. Oh, yeah. What you do, you just install those right under the grill. I see this all the time. And be sure to point them directly up. The ones that say not road legal, the ones you get at like the 4x4 shop. Yeah, absolutely. I see these, and they're usually on a Columbia or something. And the headlights are all yellowed out. They're all fogged over because nobody takes care of the headlights or anything. Yeah, that's where you see those. So you've seen the new bodied Freightliner without LEDs. I've never seen one. It's hard to believe my company would spend an extra $50 on a truck. I will tell you that. They probably got some kind of deal. They bought a bunch of them and said, why don't you throw those lights in? We'll throw something to the drivers. We'll also give them a free pen or something. Delivering again to the Meyer and Lansing. Staying dry today? All right. That's great, Kenneth. What's going on? LED lights are a waste of money. I prefer my halogen lights, so if it goes, I replace it beyond your way. Look, on the Escape, right, I made a point to make sure that it had the xenon lights, and they're way worth it beyond halogens. The light is better, even on the Semi, okay? Going from a halogen bulb to the LEDs, it's way better. It's whiter, brighter light. I think they're worth it, personally, just for the safety standpoint of it. Oregon fuel isn't part of IFTA. All right, that's fair enough. I've one in the rear of the truck to blind people there with their high beams on. Now that's something that I could get behind. But except not get behind your lights. Are the new DOT rules for breaks and sleeping time any good? Well, okay, so the 30-minute break is now after 8 driving hours, not 8 hours. So you don't have to take 30 minutes, and it's really not a break. The DOT should stop calling it that, and so should I, really. Because it's 30 minutes of non-driving time. That's how it's worded now. So it can be any time other than driving time is considered 30 minutes away from being driving. So you can be on duty, you can be off duty, you can be in the sleeper, whatever you want. It's to get you a 30-minute break from driving. The split sleeper, some people will like it and some won't. You can do 7-3 instead of 8-2, either way. And both parts of the sleeper, neither section counts against your 14 hours. So for people that wanted this 3-hour break off duty, you could take a 3-hour break in the sleeper berth and it stops your 14-hour clock. It doesn't count against your clock. So you get to Chicago at 4. You could park until 7. There's the first section of a 7-3 split, right? There's 3 hours. So, and I read through this whole boring thing. The wife had to wake me up a couple times because I'd fallen asleep reading this document, but nowhere does it say that the longer part has to be first. It doesn't say that. So there's no reason you couldn't do a 3-7 split. Will it help people? Yeah, but it increases the amount of time that people can drive, which doesn't help the rates or anything at all. The easiest way to tell if a Freightliner has LED lights on the bodies, you'll see that plastic bar that runs across the top also acts as your daytime running lights. Well, yeah, you can also turn them on and blind yourself if you're standing in front of it. Ha! You can order every truck with LED or halogen. I would get LEDs for sure. Anybody know if California DMV are going to CLP Written test without appointment. I don't know. You'd have to call them direct if they're even opening. I know California is locked down tight over there. They're griping at people. Turn on LED kits don't have that. They just have a little light bulb in the far right corner of the lights. Any kits or whatever are not going to be as good as the factory thing for lights. When I hear Al Johns, when I hear the feeling problems that drivers have with companies, it makes me think of a phrase, penny wise and dollar stupid. Yeah, exactly. They're stepping over dollars to pick up nickels. It's crazy. Okay, you hire me, you hire an experienced driver, I'll fill up the truck, okay? I got it. That's all you need to know. I got it. At GP Transco, do you have dedicated loads? All right, when does the new hours of service go into effect? Around September 15th to 20th, right there. I don't know if it's actually been published yet, so it goes 120 days after publication date. Not from the date they announced it. So as soon as it's published, figure the first day of fall. By the first day of fall, they will be in effect at Beetle Bailey. And what's going on out there? 50% of the loads are dedicated customers at GP Transco. You missed roller dogs are coming back. Many astute viewers have sent pictures this week of places where you can get your own wiener. My 18LT was a fine truck, Cummins X15. I never liked the way they were set up inside Internationals. They got that tiny headlight switch and automatic lights, and I didn't like them. I just never liked them. I've recently thought about looking into getting your own truck, Bobby Clark. All right. Would you all say it's worth it, and what should I look for? All right, let's see what people think about that. You know, my opinion would be no on it, but we'll see what people think. My wife wants to move to the Gulf Coast. I don't know how to find a job before I get there. Never done that. Oh, the same way you found this job. First off, can you transfer with where you are? That'd be the number one plan, right? Otherwise, a lot of places advertise on Craigslist because it's low cost. So that's a great way to start looking for a job. Daniel, chains on Donner. I know. I saw that. I can't believe it, but they have the chain signs up today. And if you look on the Google Maps out there, it's all red across there. Donner, all basically both ways. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Always. Always. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up almost 1,000 points. That's great because we're opening back up. People getting back out to spend all that stimulus money, right? They bought those rims. They bought those 31-inch tires that go on those rims. Now they got to drive their car somewhere. Sure didn't pass the $2 trillion bill with $25 million for themselves, then took a break. Of course. Sure, they're always busy doing that. And it's not just one side or the other doing that. Okay, let's be honest about that. Clay, what's everyone up to? I'm late because of dealing with idiots. Lowe's, nice. Trying to back in the door with absolutely no space, had to move loggers. Love it. Hey, would you guys, cutting those trees down, would you guys get out of the way here? They're like, well, they got all these red and black. They're like, well, we're trying to, cut trees down. Well, look, you loggers need to get out of the way. Trying to get in the dock. Good news, the back row of the TA is out of lockdown. Finally. That's what they need to open up. I got my $5 bills ready for back there, so politicians don't really need their check. Most of the money comes in cash under the table. That is probably the most true statement that will happen here today. Mistakes will be made, unfortunately get tossed because of them. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Get a lawyer. Any other things that happen on your license or whatever, at least talk to a lawyer to see if it's worth fighting or something like that. Always worth at least talking to them. Swift trucks don't have LEDs. Oh, how much would that cost them to fix all those all the time? It moves the Lowe's property to make space. And plus the loggers back there. They got those big two-handed saws. They're going back and forth. Look, guys, I'm trying to back in. Do you have to do that in front of the dock? 2021s with no LEDs. I'd like to see that. Let's see. Hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on? Typo earlier. Look, I think it's better with loggers, really. The newer lights are so much better. I agree. Just when we got our other Escape, right, which was a 15, it had the xenon lights on it, and I'm like, holy mackerel, this is amazing. It's like you can actually see. And ever since then, I said, right, anything we get beyond that, then we'll always have LEDs or xenons. And we got the semis in with the LEDs. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is way better, way better. I hate people who not turn down their high beams. There should be LEDs. That is true. They were quite clear about that. And they were clear about the car, too. They go, look, this bulb goes out. It's expensive. I'm like, look, I need to be able to see. I don't want to hear about it. I'll take Kelly Patterson. I'll take non-driving time. What they're doing now is getting you away from driving for 30 minutes. So as long as you're not driving during 30 minutes, there's no reason that shouldn't pass muster, okay? So, but it has to be all at once. Can't take 15 here, 15 there. Can't do that. And I always recommend people go 31 minutes on an ELD. just because you don't exactly know when it clicks that 1 minute over. So if you can go at least 31 minutes, I think that would be work out a lot better. The government regulates how much money you can put in your 401k. The maximum amount gets increased, but IRA has lower maximum amount, and you can add to it every year. Yeah, I don't exactly know how that works, so we'll take your word for that, absolutely. John needs to see them sometimes. I like fog lights better. They are better lighting up the road in front of me. Okay. I like LEDs too, and I like fog lights, and they're on all the time. In the car. I don't have them in the truck. My truck wide open and best fuel mileage is 68 on cruise. Okay, then that's the speed to go. I heard LED lights get iced over. They do. Downside, that's why I'm glad the car has xenon. They're super hot. LEDs, no heat to them. So Volvo in their cars and stuff have solved this. Jaguar solved this in their cars. They heat the lens. Okay, but for some reason Freightliner's like, oh, drivers don't need to see. So agree with you. 10 minutes in the snowstorm, no lights. You don't have any lights. Can't see anything. Same with the tail lights. Snow on them. Can't see anything. Totally agree. Totally agree with you. In Georgia, they let over 20,000 teens get their license without a road test. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, that's the only time I ever drove when I got my license. So I don't know. It's not like the road test is that complicated. I love factory LED and aftermarkets are dangerous. The person coming at you is blinded or you're begging for an accident. Some of the ones are Chinese ones, and so people get LED headlight replacements for like $6 or whatever, and they're like, oh, well, everybody blinks their brights at you. Yeah, of course, because you're paying $2 for lights. What do you think? Kelly Patterson is going to be seeing GP Transco next Tuesday. Gotta love the chain vultures. Yeah, they're $50. How much is it now to get chains? I should ask you to have somebody put chains on you. You have to get the right housings for them and stuff. You have a Yukon with them. If you replace the LEDs on your car, you have to replace the whole assembly and everything. That's the way to do it. All politicians are crooks. Should I be worried if I haven't seen my stimulus check, Bobby Clark? No. What they said is you're going to get a check in the mail. They're doing 5 million of them a week, and it starts at the lowest income and goes up. So the more money you made, the longer it will be. They should be done, they said, by the end of September, sending checks out. Remember to give the IRS your direct deposit information. They didn't have mine because I don't do direct deposit with them. Because at the end of the year, I try to come out as close to even as possible. I don't get a big refund, so I don't worry about it. I had to go on the thing and give them my direct deposit, and they sent the money that way. So, but it might be the end of September, depending on how much you made. I've gotten every job I've had from networking. I lived in the same area for 45 years. Oh, yeah, trucking, I don't know if it's going to be like that for that. Go on Craigslist. Okay, so good. They're going to look forward to seeing her. That'll be great. Yeah, see how it goes over there. I guess the government got him. Died off, marks off the air. No, I'm back. I show being on the air, right? So I'm on air. I'm back for a moment. Let's go down here. View your deck. We got a chain up. I'm worth driving like 11 and a half years. My choice. I just wondered how much do people charge for chaining now. What do people charge to chain up? It used to be $50. Okay, the Truckin' Jamboree, too. I wanted to talk about the Truckin' Jamboree. So, the Trucker Jamboree has been canceled. It's going to be a virtual Jamboree now. So, we'll not see anybody at the Jamboree because it's now virtual. That's so disappointing, but there's nothing I can do about it. They went to a virtual Jamboree, so we'll have to virtually see people. If there's ever a truck show or anything opened, we'll meet at one somewhere eventually. But the Trucker Jamboree is now an online-only Jamboree, which sounds like a bunch of garbage. They should have kept it open. And they said, oh, because the governor or whatever, we can't do it. Forget the governor. This thing is outside. I mean, come on. But the Trucker Jamboree canceled. So the first of these enforcement weeks. Okay, so now they have the dates out for enforcement. July 12th through 18th, okay, is Operation Safe Driver. Okay, that's the first week. Operation Safe Driver. So that is going to focus on speeding. That week they're going to be focusing on speeding around the country because they've had tons of speeding, people speeding. So the second week, August 23rd through 29th. That is Brake Safety Week. Okay, and it's going on. They just put the date out and said, absolutely, we're doing it this week. We'll have masks, and apparently they're going to have masks for the drivers if they pull you in there and stuff like that. So that's what they said. We'll have all the PPE for everybody. So those are your 2 weeks, July 12th through 18th and August 23rd through 28th. Those are your 2 weeks to look for coming up because that's what they announced. Are you ready for it? That's the question. Okay, so I tried to log on the IRS website to do that, but apparently my birthday doesn't match my social, Bobby Clark. Yeah, and so then they're not taking calls, and so you're going to have to wait. And if you filed last year, so they're going to go by the last taxes that you filed, then whatever address you had, because people are having this problem. Okay, so the way I understand it, so if you've moved, you'll have to update your address, and there's some form 8117 or something. There's a form to send them for that, to change that. But you're going to get a check sent to you for $1,200 a person and $500 a kid. Apparently, by the end of September, they'll be done with the checks. That could be a while. And depending, they're going to start out with the people the lowest amount of money and go up from there. Be sure to give them your direct deposit in case another one comes out for the next stimulus. Be sure to get them your direct deposit information. What I did is got a prepaid card. Okay, a NetSpend card like this kind of card. This is the one that came in a little packet, but they send you a regular card, and I had a direct deposit onto that. That way, they still don't have the direct deposit of the bank information. So that's how I did it. Anybody could do that. So pretty easy. And I just put that information on there, and it got direct deposit on that card like a week later. Pretty interesting. The chain vultures on Donna required to give them your firstborn. I remember it being around $50 to chain up a truck. So the weather can't be that bad today, right? It's not like 20 below zero. So no Jamboree. I hate this. I was looking forward to that. I know. Well, but I was going to go out there. We were looking at motels and everything. I was going to stay out there and for the night, and nothing. That first city in Illinois, not in the Quad Cities, but coming back down 74, there's another city there. I was going to stay there. Can't go this year because they're going to do it virtually. So I'm going to stay in that motel virtually also. I'm going to send them my picture, and then they can hang my picture up that night and then throw it out the window because I'm leaving the next morning. So if I had company drivers, I would not want to work for me because I would run older equipment, but safe condition, but I would compensate highly on your work performance. George Wilson. Nobody minds that. You know, as long as the equipment is kept up and there's higher pay, that's not terrible. But you run the risk of more breakdowns. It's always the car and truck thing. Some companies like to run new trucks and then get rid of them to end breakdowns and at least control their costs of maintenance. And then same for a car. People on here, have an older car and they go, well, I can just fix it. And then some people have a newer car and say, well, I always want a new car for the warranty. So it's the same thing. As long as you keep your trucks in good repair and the drivers are making money, you'd have no problem getting drivers, believe me. I got 2020 Cascadia, and I don't have LAD. What is LAD? Oh, lights. Okay, yeah. I've never seen one of the new ones. Not the Evolutions, but the new ones. Went across dinner on Saturday. Was lovely. Nice. Donner on Saturday, and it was nice. Today they're chaining. Okay, I did see that. Somebody said it, and I went and looked on the map, and it's all red. They're chaining up. Unless whatever's on my deck can eventually come off, you would never harm me in a million years. Look, stuff can come off your deck. Absolutely, stuff can be taken off of there. It times out, and look, if there was something 10 or 15 years ago, say you had something on there, a bunch of stuff 15 years ago, and you had a clean deck all those years, that would not be counted against you unless it was a bunch of DUIs or something like that. So as long as you get some time in between you and what's on there, you're going to be fine eventually on stuff. Bobby Clark, so they're going to go by my tax return I filed this year. If that's the case, I'm moving on my birthday, so I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, so they go by the latest tax return that you filed. That's what they said. So that's the address that they're going to go by if you don't have direct deposit with them. Whatever address you had, that's all got to match. That's all got to match on there. And if it doesn't on the website, it can be just a website problem too. So who knows why it didn't match. Either way, that all has to match. And so if it matches, your address matches, they're going to send you checks. They're going to send you checks. Mad Hatter, what's going on? It's good to see you. Your 2013 Dodge van has $250,000 on it. New tires, shocks, rides great, and always runs. Is that a full-size Dodge van, like one of those tradesman vans or something? Truck stops won't let you sit down to eat, but put a trash barrel in the toilet stall for the toilet paper. Really? They're in Indiana, at least. They can be open for like 50%. I think restaurants are 50% now. under the governor's order. I meant not communist, but governor's order. 50%. So, like, they have tables that are spaced out and stuff like that. There's no reason a truck stop couldn't do the same thing. Absolutely. So I don't know why they're not open. Maybe they don't have the people to be open. That's always a possibility too. So I have USA Truck at 456, but the most surprising stock I had this week was probably Pam. Okay, Pam was $33 this week. And why is that crazy? Because on April 29th they were $41. And they're $33 this week. That doesn't make any sense to me. So that either means they didn't get any business, or they have a lot of problems, because they're the ones that said all these automotive things were the reason that they didn't have any fault, that they didn't have any business. And what I did get, a driver sent, we had an exchange on email, and he didn't say I could use his name, so I'm not going to. So Pam runs the plant in Fort Wayne for the pickup trucks. Silverados are made there. That's a pickup truck plant for GM. Well, Pam used to pay $11.40 a week, guarantee, every week, and then they paid overtime over 45 hours. They paid another $25 an hour. You were home every day, and they even paid that $11.40 during the breaks, because they're closed for a couple weeks in July and they close in December. And I actually recommended Pam to a couple people up there that were in the area as a good local place because of the guarantee. So even on days you didn't work, you got $1,140. If they shut the plant down, you got paid. That's pretty good. There are people at docks that don't get paid. Well, now it turns out we've had a problem. Pam has now stopped the guarantee there, apparently. They only pay hourly, so if you don't work, you don't get paid. And the breaks are no longer paid. And in Indiana, you can't get paid unemployment for those breaks in this state because they're planned breaks. So any planned break from a company, because we have so much automotive manufacturing, we've got them. We've got Subaru here. We've got a Toyota plant. We've got Honda plant. We've got Chrysler here. So there's all kinds of plants in Indiana, and on their planned breaks, you can't get unemployment. So now these drivers won't get paid for that time. And now they don't get paid overtime until 55 hours instead of 45 hours. So that extra 10 hours still just pays the same amount. And I think that's a real problem, and that's not a good way to keep drivers. That makes me a little nervous about them, and their stock now is down $8 in, 2.5 weeks. I think that's a real problem. I thought it would go up when the automotive places opened. It didn't. Let's see here. I got to pay my costs that hurt 7 years. Yeah, stuff will drop off. Always worth applying to a place. Gustavo, welcome to the USSA. Exactly. We're going to have to get a new flag. Exactly. Of one color. Yeah. Give us a call and ask for John Alvarez. He will know exactly what to do. Yeah, always. If you have problems on there, it's always worth calling and saying, well, how long does it take? Because I don't know how long that stuff drops off. Anybody that has stuff on their record, call a company and say, what do I need to do? How does this come off? How long does it take? Yeah. They say May is going to increase their truck speed from 61 to 67. Who is saying that? That May would go to 67? That kind of stuff, when a trucking company increases their speed, increases your pay. You can put more miles down in the same day. So you just get a pay raise just by doing that, and most people won't be aggravating you going 67. You can actually pass prime in a better manner. 61 versus 58 isn't the same as 67 versus 58. You'll feel a lot better about passing a prime truck at that time. Which rhymed. Oh, and that rhymed too. Yikes. Okay, I have another truck. So this truck, Hayes, people didn't know much about it, and neither did I. But what about this? All right, so there's this truck. People know Hayes. What about this thing? The second truck of the day. So, day cab, but hey, it's a truck maker. Did you drive this truck too, people? Probably. Let me get this screen right here. Okay, so there's that back there, right there. All right. So there's that truck. Anybody know anything about that truck? I don't know. I don't know anything about it, or maybe I do. So the 4 parts of the hours of service. So 2 extra hours, and I'm still trying to figure that out even after reading the dumb thing. 2 extra hours, so 15 hours? I don't know. But anyway, 2 extra hours for adverse conditions. They did not change the definition of adverse conditions. Okay, keep that in mind. Adverse conditions didn't change. And so you also 30 minutes after 8 driving hours instead of 8 hours after 8 driving hours, and could be anything that's non-driving time. Split sleeper can be 7-2 or 8-3, and local drivers, which some of them griped about, but local drivers are going to go from 12 hours to 14 hours and 100 to 150 miles. All that does is change people that need to run a log. It doesn't, they said, because a couple of unions came out and said, well, this is going to increase the amount of time that local drivers work. No. Say a local driver works 12 hours, and then they go to 13 hours. All that's going to do, they just had to run a log before. Now they won't have to. It doesn't change the amount of time that you work. So that didn't change anything. So they got that a little bit wrong on that. So this is not a Diamond Rio, or is it an international? So there you go. You've seen some Prime trucks going 64, 65. I think if they lease the truck, Prime lets the speed to be turned up on it to 65 or whatever. But they strongly encourage people to not go that fast. But you don't have to go 50 miles an hour to get decent fuel mileage in your truck. Barry gets to go 72 and zoom. That'd be pretty fast, right? I haven't done that in a long time. Most companies have set between 63 and 68. Yeah, exactly. Your company will go everything on the speedometer. If you're going 90 and got a ticket, that'd be the last day there probably. They wouldn't like that very much. And I see why companies do it. I don't like it, of course. I'd rather it went as fast as possible, but I see why they do it. It costs a ton of money in fuel, right? I get it. So, doesn't mean I have to like it, but I totally understand it. Okay, George Wilson wins this, the Diamond T. Very good. Maine Chicago bought out by Diamond Rio as part of White Motors. Wow, I have a historian, exactly. And this is a 1958 model 630. So it said, I don't know anything more about it than that, but it's a Diamond T. And another company from the past. It probably had a Super 10 in it. Most likely. That's kind of what it looks like. So, but yeah, Diamond T. Jerry Rock, sitting on the shoulder with a blown tire. I took this trailer because it just had an annual inspection this morning. Yeah, this morning it passed. Time for somebody to bring you a tire, and I hope it's on the non-traffic side of it. What do people think about the split sleeper? I thought there'd be more consternation about it, but people were sort of happy about it. Will anybody be using the 7-3 part of it to extend your day or whatever? The problem I'm always concerned about at these kind of things is that companies will not force you to use it, I guess, but encourage you to use it at the dock. And they'll say, well, you're going to be there for a few hours. You can just put that as sleeper time, and that'll just extend your day. That's how that's going to go. Only over the phone, of course. They're not going to send that to you in writing. But I think that's how it's going to go. That must be a real trucker truck. Yeah, that was trucking back then. All manual, everything. Oh, yeah. That would have been, I don't even know, that one might be gas powered for all I know. So drivers on the chat, would you rather go 73 and earn 44 cents or 67 and earn 52 cents? Oh, that's a good question. Would you rather pick up the speed and earn 52 cents? I also think that companies that increase the speed probably get more tickets. Probably, which reduces their safety rating. Doesn't matter, does it? I find as a night shift driver, the ability to pause the clock so I can take a nap is quite beneficial. That or even stop for a shower. But I can understand how it can be used negatively. Yeah, so would you use it now that you can stop for 2 hours? You need a sleeper, of course. But are you going to be using that 2 or 3 hours to stop your clock? Because now it stops your 14-hour clock. You'd have to split it off at the other end because the long part's got to be in the sleeper. So you couldn't be done and go off duty for the last part. That is a good Diamond T. I've never seen one. Yeah, I know. I've never seen one either. Oh, Clay does not do split sleeper. No two ways about it. You must think, though, that some companies are going to encourage and probably encourage their trainers to show drivers how to stop their clock while they're at the dock because you'll make more money this way. And any company that says that, it's really because we don't pay you for this time. What they're saying is, well, you're not paid for this, so you'll make more money if you'll run illegally. I think that's how it works. And I don't like that side of it. Normally I take a libertarian view on many things, but if we didn't have a 70-hour or 80-hour or 90-hour clock, no clock, Companies would have you work 140 hours a week. And they'd say, well, look, it's not illegal, get driving. That's only because I think that holds companies off from making you work even more. I rarely split SI6, no need of trip planned. Of course, I have one loading stop, one delivery. Yeah, so you have it set up perfectly, right? I mean, if I could use that dock and be able to run more miles, I'd take it. It's not like the companies let us have any reliable sleep schedules. Yeah, that's why another reason I would encourage people to try to get a dedicated run, because it sets up your sleep schedule the same every day. You sleep at the same time, work, you're up at the same time, totally much better. I go 65 and get $23 an hour. Well, would you rather, what if you had the choices? A little bit lower pay or, 8 cents lower pay really, and a few miles an hour. What do you think? When you started, you were told the truck goes 67. Can I get a slight downhill? You can get it on the cruise. Well, you check that against a GPS speedometer. So you should get a speedometer, right, phone, and GPS check that. Maybe the speedometer in the truck is slightly off. There's that as well. And that's of anybody. If you think you're supposed to go a certain speed, check your speed, with something better. Can you do a review of Hart Transport out of Maine? Oh, Hart Transport. I hear about them every once in a while. There's just not that many people up there to go there. Kelly Patterson, I don't do split, just 10 and 0. So you will not be using this to stop your clock or anything like that. Most people didn't split. Most people do not split their sleeper at all. Canadian, I already have it, use it often, but I'm a branch driver and have a relatively repeatable schedule. That helps a lot. I think that helps people stay healthier too when you do the same thing every day. Can't be off duty to dock clay. Exactly. That's exactly correct. But they'll say, hey, look, if you hit sleeper and did that instead, you could stop your clock. That's what companies are going to say to you. They will say it. Al Johns would take a raise to go $28 an hour, and he'll go 62 miles an hour. Does it stop your clock, or do you just get back at the end for the second break? No, the time stops your 14-hour clock. Both sections, they were pretty clear about that. Both sections of a split now, instead of just the big one, both sections stop your clock. So you totally will stop your 3 hours, stop the clock, no problem. And you just pick it up as if that time didn't happen. You can't be off duty, but you can be sleeper. But depending on what you're doing at the dock, you could be in the sleeper. It's all about my pocket. I will take the pocket cotton. Pocket cotton, that's good. I guess that's one for taking a pay raise for the truck going slower. My dad drove one from 66 to 72. Wow, when they got a new Hendrickson. I loved riding in that old Diamond C. Oh, so that's why you know about it, right? Was it gas powered? So your GPS says 66. You're 1 mile an hour off. 1 mile an hour. James would drive a Yugo governed at 45 miles an hour if the pay was right. That would be embarrassing. You don't see Yugos on the road anymore either. My experience was seeing owner-operators running on coffee and pills until run long hours. Yes? All the while balancing 4 or 5 logbooks to make things look legal. Yeah, and look, I wasn't an owner-operator, but certainly there were times when I had a couple of logbooks to run a long load, and you just run straight through with the load. And when one ran out, you'd have the other one, and you could put vacation or off-duty or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Want the speed to get the load there and move on. Faster truck, more miles, more loads. Right. But the thing is it more money? It's more miles, but it's less per mile. So do you come out ahead on it? Is it worth it? I always think people shouldn't continue to try to work more. They should try to make more. Many people write in nearly weekly, Mark, we need to eliminate the 70 hours. We need to eliminate it. So if you work so that I can make more money, they'll say. But really, what you're trying to do is make more money. Why not get a raise for the work that you already do? You can't sit around 20 hours a week and then say, well, I need that at the end to drive, so I need 90 hours because I sit around and don't get paid. How about you got paid for all the time? Then you wouldn't worry about the 20 hours because you're already getting paid for it when it's already happening. That's what I think about it. I don't think that's worth it in the end to work 90 hours a week. What kind of life is that? So your Diamond T was a diesel. See, I see this exhaust here, which I'm pointing at that you can't see, comes out in front of the back tire, so I don't know if it's gas or diesel. I have no idea. Some of them probably could have been gas, and this is just a single axle. I don't know. Maybe. I know we had at Park Ridge Transport, they had a Dodge 600 or something, and it had a gas engine in it, and they used that in the yard to move trailers around. It had a 440 in it with a stick, and it didn't have an exhaust or anything on it. Yeah, that was really something. What is your health worth? Exactly. Pills and 2 logbooks. I got really sick of that pretty fast. And there's got to be a better way to do this than running 2 logbooks and lighting up on yellow jackets. So you also have a check engine light on. Typical, right? And I haven't been able to get to the shop. It's an EGR. Well, when you're there, tell them, look, check the speed too. Yikes. And they'll check it. All they can do is plug it in and turn it up. Give the guy $10 and they'll crank you up to 75, or just head to the diesel doctor. The diesel doctor. Do not go to the diesel doctor. I remember the paper comic books running from Dallas to Kendallville straight. My book was audited and looked good. Sure. Look, as long as you have, I always had the right logbook in the front, right there where I could get it. So, and the other one was up or somewhere else. So I was new. You were always on a current logbook because you never knew when you could get pulled over. I agree, get paid more for what you already do. Working extra should be a bonus, a reward. I know. And drivers, owner operators and company drivers are trying to work more instead of make more. There's so much unpaid time that if you got paid for that, that'd be a huge boost to your pay and you wouldn't have to work any extra. It's already time that you're really volunteering to work for free. Go volunteer at a local, charity. At work, you should get paid. What is your opinion on percentage versus mileage? I'm a fan of those two. I'd rather see get mileage. I'd rather see people get a minimum and an hourly, something like that. But right now, I think percentage people are not faring as well as others might be. Because look at the rates. So if you're getting a percentage of the rate, and the rate's down to $1.20, you're down to 30 cents, 40 cents. Could it work better in the future when rates go back up? Yeah, but I don't like the up and down of it. I'd rather take the mileage and let the company worry about the rate, so that way I don't have to worry about it, because I don't get any say in what load they take. Maybe they go, well, we're taking this 80-cent load or something to get you out there. Maybe I'm like, I don't want to do that because you're cutting my pay without my say, which also rhymes. Yellow jackets and a Jolt. Now that's a murder hornet. Oh, Jolt, yes. Or Pepsi Max. Yeah, that was some good stuff back then, sure. We always say that a company driver being paid percentage means he or she is at the mercy of the freight market. When it's down, the company driver earns little. Yeah, well, I mean, what if you're getting, what is a good rate now, 30 cents maybe? And they get 80 cents. You get 24 cents a mile. And some of them, they take stuff out of that too. You don't get it of 100%. So you could get it 20 cents and you have no say in the loads that they take. So since I have no say in it, I want a flat rate, a mileage rate. That's how I would rather do it. Okay, you get 50 cents, you get 60 cents, whatever it is. Then I know, okay, these loads all pay that. It's their problem that the rate is down, not me. That's why I'm a company driver. I don't want to have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. Personally, other people do great as owner operators, but worrying about that kind of stuff, that's not for me. I got enough to worry about. I got to worry about murder hornets. It balances out with peaks and valleys, maybe. Right now, it's been a valley for a while, and so your check is down to, really low for the same amount of work. I'm just not a fan of it. Pocket rockets, is that what you called those then? I think they were called yellow jackets on the container. They had different ones. They had white crosses and stuff, all kinds of weird stuff you could buy at the counter of the truck stop. At the counter of the 76 there on 159th Street. Or 130th right there, 159th I think. I ran teams for 3,000 miles a week and made $900 before taxes. That's horrible. $900 for a team? You might as well be by yourself. Won't we see company drivers look for stability and owner-operators are more comfortable with a gamble? Right. I mean, I don't want to gamble. That's why I never gambled on a truck. For me, I don't want the gamble. I'll take a mileage rate, and the company can figure out how to pay me, 50 cents when they're getting 80 cents. That's their problem. Owner-operators, yeah, because they're going to write it up, but not for me. It works for some people, though. Drivers that live around Cincinnati, Justin Sturgill looking for quality drivers. Check them out on YouTube. So they're another recruiting on YouTube, right? As long as that's the company doing it. 70 mile an hour truck, 46 cents, 32 an hour on the open road. As long as you're driving. As long as you're rolling. When you're sitting in traffic, it's no miles an hour on the open road. That's why I like at least a guarantee, a daily guarantee. So that if there's a problem, you still get paid. All that goes on the company to figure out how to keep me moving and all that stuff, how to work the rates and everything. Make trucking great again, bring back the white crosses. Yikes. Don't say that at the rally in downtown DC. We want white crosses. Oh my gosh. And then honk the horns. Company you haul for now is a contract with McDonald's. It pays me 27%. And since the lockdown has suffered, now we have a guarantee of $1,050 as long as we run. It has been rough. Well, $1,050 as long as you run, what does that mean? What exactly does that mean? I would like a guarantee even if I don't work. So that's how I work under. We have a guarantee here. And so even if there isn't work, you get paid. And so I don't have to worry about, they can't figure out how to get work. They still pay you. That's their problem. And then if they make $6 a mile, well, then they benefit from it. They go, we just pay you a little bit because you agree to that. That's fine. But then when there's no work, I go, hey, you still got to pay me for today. It's not my problem. You don't have work for me to do. I remember two-way tablets. I know a guy who took those by the handful. I don't remember two-way tablets. I don't remember seeing those up there. Is that what they were called? Since we're having a count to 72 at 50 cents. Well, it was either higher or lower. See, I'm a little concerned with setting a company truck at 73. I think the company is going to get tickets then. That's just because it's almost set up like that, though, right? You pay somebody by the mile, so it encourages them to put more miles down. So then the faster the truck goes, they're going to do it. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The company encourages you to run more miles, turn up the truck, you go faster, and you get a ticket, which also affects the company. It's a circle. I can see in the high 60s, but past 70, I think they start getting tickets. You were stuck under contract because they trained you for CDL. Well, right. But once you get out of that, then you can move on to better things. Because to team for $900, no way. Any teams on here, would you team for $900? No. And then, so the company saved a ton of money because a lot of team freight pays better. So you have to have hazmat and tanker for VL trucking, 1,500 flat. That's very good. 75 grand. Hazmat tanker, which you should have that stuff anyway. 75 miles an hour at 70 cents a mile. Oh, okay. All right, we're in for that, GP Transco. Having a guarantee is good for some drivers. Misunderstood what it means. We have 1,000 guarantee, but sometimes some people think it means 1,000 weekly average. Oh, no, right. Well, each company that has a guarantee, it means different things. So you'd have to ask each company how the $1,000 works. How does it work at your company? What do I have to do on my end to make sure that I can get the guarantee? Every company has a different way to do it. Yeah. And so drivers might think that, but that might not be how it works. That'd be great, though. 1,000 a weekly average, and it probably doesn't work that way. If I had to start a mega carrier, which one would I take? I wouldn't. Right now, knowing this, right, I would go to truck school myself, which ironically I did because that's how it worked then, and go out that way. I'd rather you took a loan for the truck school, even if you can't get your state to pay for it, because many companies will pay you back now for that loan. So go get an $8,000 loan at the truck school or whatever, even at 20%, I don't care. And go to the truck school yourself, and you won't have to worry about being stuck somewhere because you're paying your school back or whatever. No way. I wouldn't do it. They've all just gone downhill. Even England, not that many years ago, was a great place to work. It was. When I started driving a England trucks, I think, oh man, this is great. Direct transit, what a great place to work. I can go at this place. Not now. High risk, it's reward or loss. Yeah, with risk comes the top side and the bottom side. Did my first deadhead in 10 years last week to Massachusetts to Wisconsin. Wow. But outbound covered both ways. Wow. That is a long deadhead. Why did you, what happened? Why did you deadhead that far? The brand was called 2, and they were a pseudoephedrine. A bottle of 50 were like $12. Yeah, that was the stuff that would keep you awake. That the government all put the kibosh on. The dang government stopping us from getting haircuts and ephedra. I love 65 because they really have to do something stupid to get a ticket. And I think that's what companies think too, and they're right. 65 to 68, most of their trucks won't get a ticket, even here in Indiana. But they start getting 70 plus, drivers are going to go that fast. And they'll get in accidents and more tickets. Misty gets a $1,300 a week guarantee. And so you're going to get your $1,300. That's $65,000 at least. That's really good. You don't have to worry like, oh my gosh, I wonder if they're going to not have anything for me to do. That's their problem. Our guarantee is as long as we run so many days and then take so many days off, we'll get the 1,050. Even if we only make 250 on one trip, then go home. Yeah, good. So you'll have to know, each company, you'll have to know exactly what you have to do, right, to get the guarantee, and then do those things so that you can get your guarantee if you need it. Absolutely. From what we see, over 70 equals speeding tickets. That's what I figure, and accidents and expenses. And a worse record for the company. That hurts the company. All leading to worse service and much lower pay. And some companies look at that kind of stuff. And so I think they got to just stay under 70. It's just practical. Even though, yes, I want the truck to go 90 so I can go out west and just set the cruise at 85 through Utah. They're just not going to do it. Preacher Paul, great show. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Wouldn't it be nice to go out there in Utah and set the cruise at 85 and just roll along? Well, that'd be great. Getting 4 miles to the gallon, not a care in the world. Imagine all the points you'd get, too. You'd have Love's points coming out your ears. You could buy a helmet every week. I was satisfied with 65 miles an hour on the pedal and 68 on cruise. That was perfect in my opinion. That's pretty good. 68, not bad. You get out to pass somebody, you got to hit the cruise back on. Oh, those asked about LED. Our Cascadias have LED lights. Good. I'm in. I wish they heated them. I mean, I'd like to know if Western Star heats them. I wish they were heated. I don't understand why they don't heat them. So probably I'd rather have xenons, but they don't put them in there. But the truck should heat them. If a Volvo car can heat them, they can heat them in a truck. Jaguars, they're all heated. Why isn't all that heated? Why is the wipers, why are the windshields not heated? I was scheduled to start orientation with Snyder, but they shut down all their new hire. That's a lot of companies. Do you know of other companies that hire new drivers are doing the same? Yeah, a lot of companies aren't hiring anymore. There's not that many places that are hiring. We know Hirschbach is hiring. They'll fly at orientation in a company jet now. Fly in a company jet. It's horrible. They lose 2,000 drivers a year at 1,600 driver carrier. So it's really, if you can wait, I'd wait a little bit to see places open up. If you can't wait and have to go to work, there's Uber. I mean, if you could do that. If not, just start calling these big places. One of them will take you, but it's just going to be like you have to go. You have no choice. And that's never a great way to get a job. I never go 5 over the limit. I use 72 in the right conditions and limit of 70. A couple over, I think you wouldn't get a ticket. It's like 68 and a 65, you probably wouldn't get a ticket. But once companies, if they move to 73, like our example here, I think drivers would start getting tickets. And then the company gets kind of aggravated at that because now they're getting all these points. So I totally understand why they have to do it. I just don't like it. 20% of the load, but I get 1,200 guaranteed. But only because I work for my uncle. Okay. Everyone can work for their uncle. So, yeah, so he's guaranteed $1,200. So fine. 20% of the load. See, I don't like the percentage either because I can't necessarily pick the load. They pick the load. They go, here's your next load, but you're getting percentage. Well, maybe there was a better load or a load I'd rather do. So I just feel like if I'm getting a cut of it, like a direct cut, I want some kind of 20% of the say of it, I guess. Paul, I got a grant for school and Covenant paid me for schooling after it was paid by unemployment. That's pretty good. And you didn't have to worry like, I have to stay here because they paid for it. You got a grant, and that's the best way to do it. And as long as you like it there, I would stay if you like it. My brother owns his computer. He's going to change things. I might be off here for a while. It's been fun. Great like Tony the Tiger. I thank you very much. So he's like, hey, that's my computer. I'm taking it. So, but I appreciate you being here. Nothing running back to my load point. Would take just anything. It was new customer. They paid round trip. Okay. Look, if they're going to pay round trip, you might as well run back empty. But it would have been nice to get like a partial in there. A few pallets going somewhere that paid even 50 cents. That'd be all extra money. Pay back your loan weekly and pay 5-year loan in 3 years and pay half the interest. Yeah, well, a lot of these companies are paying pretty good to get the loans paid back. Well, worth it. It's still worth it because that contract, that's horrible. That's way worse than interest. Passing people was hilarious, but I managed extremely well, I'm sure. Preacher Paul's governed at 72. Here I could see people at 72 getting a ticket out of 65. Tickets are controlled by drivers. If you hire drivers, they get tickets. Drivers can get tickets in the speed zone. Keep trucks under 70, off-roads with speeds above that. That's true. It's always the driver. And most drivers pass me because I'm out there usually 61 and a 60, and we'll only go 65. So that's the best I can do in that. But You know, not many drivers follow the speed limit if they don't have to. Going down 41, I mean, when I'm going down to Evansville, down to 41 there, I see people going 65 all the time. It's a 60. Even through those little towns where it's a 50 or 45, they still blast through there. And that is by far the majority of drivers. Preacher Paul's taking home for 12 to 1400 a week. 1400 is 70 grand net. So you must be making 80 plus big money. So that's pretty good. So you agree with Aviator Trucker big time? My company truck is a 07 379. Wow. Goes 95 on the pedal. All the other trucks are new and governed to 68. You did luck out. Wow, no automatic in that or anything. That'd be pretty nice. Misty. Okay, this is good. My guarantee is based on being available Monday through Saturday. I'm in Salt Lake filling in for an injured driver. Okay. Got me a rent-a-car. Nice. And put you in a Homewood Suites. Oh, very fancy. By Hilton. We're a Hilton Honors member. I hope you're getting your points. And $35 a day per diem. If not, you can use my card. I'll take the points. And also would like to know what type of rental car it is. Year, make, and model. But if you have 400 drivers like we do, GP Transcript, look at the trends of data. Having 30 drivers, it's case by case. Yeah, look, most of the drivers are going to speed. Just because that's how they're paid. If drivers are paid by the hour, nobody would be speeding. Cannot believe people would speed because they know it would reduce their pay. So they have every incentive to drive the speed limit. Every incentive. Exactly, but there wasn't anything all flatbed stuff. You can't do that in your reefer. That's true. So, absolutely. That's okay, though. It'd be hard to put that stuff, like boards and stuff in there. So we have the wife going across the back here. Hello there. So also wanted to show this cat. Don't forget about Nigma every day. How about that? Remember Nigma. I love that name of that cat. I'm just saying it would have been nice to get some kind of partial, even a pallet. Would have added some money on there, right? Okay, and other companies can't hire you if they don't complete the contract. I know. These companies are really honoring this contract with other companies, kind of like, an unwritten thing. So it's a real problem. The contract's a real problem. Pay by the hour, great rating, you run 60. Reason why companies pay by the mile. Yes. But I think the companies can see how fast you're driving, though. It's not like you can go, and because everybody said, well, drivers will go 50. Well, the companies now can all see that. They can all see how fast you're driving. It isn't a problem. I'll be listening, got my load, and headed home. Be safe. All right, thanks, Big Huge Mike. I appreciate it. My pay rate is $25 an hour. Misty, when I work full time, I make significantly more than my guarantee, but I do unload to my tailgate. Well, that's not bad. Tailgate unloading, not terrible, and 25. So, but the thing is, the guarantee at a company, any place, is really good. Rolling across Montana is 80, so it's nice to do 72. That's true, but what if you could do 80? Wouldn't it be great to go 80 across Montana, just set the cruise, you're going 80 miles an hour? I think that'd be really great. But as a company driver, I don't get to choose that kind of thing, unfortunately. I'm too lazy to be a politician. I would probably just promise people everything. Oh, that's all right. That's what they do now. So that isn't a problem. Everything they want to hear, you're a perfect politician. In Indiana, you watched your speed. Werner watched it, and the cops watched it. Werner used to send messages, you're going to Indiana, and they hate speeders. Really? So they have like state-specific Qualcomm messages. Did anyone see the video of the security guard being rude to the driver at the Loves? No. What's up with that? Where are we being rude to a driver? Was some driver unwashed or something? All right, rental cars is 2019 Nissan Rogue, although you usually get a Nissan Frontier 4-door pickup. Budget didn't have one. Yeah, that Rogue. I mean, it's so disappointing. CVT, it's just such a disappointing driving vehicle. They could do so much better. The new Rogue that comes out, I think in 21, gets a regular transmission with gears in it again, because this is the huge complaint of Nissan. They don't last long, and they're garbage driving. It just sucks. What little life is left out of that Rogue, it just sucks it out of it. But hey, as a rental car, I say neutral drops every time you stop. We're not so sure if hourly drivers would not speed. Going fast seems to be a status symbol. Really? I can't imagine. Considering how much drivers gripe about money. I want to raise, I want to make money. Why would they be speeding, right? It seems like that is the perfect way to slow a driver down. Pay them by the hour. And, how many UPS and yellow trucks do you pass? All the time. Right? They're not speeding, at least not here in Indiana. Of course, yellow, now they have nothing to speed for. They've taken everything away. Trucks can do 70 in Montana now. Okay, Uber just announced 800 people layoff. That was in the office, though. The Uber Eats and all that stuff, they're very busy. Hard transportation offered 60 cents all miles. That's very good. Home for 34 hours a week. 5 years experience. Wow. When they have a load that goes to boroughs, I would have to take it. Oh, the boroughs of New York City. I mean, the problem in Maine, there's not a lot of places to work. So I'd have to ask them, how many times do I have to go down there? Because the mileage on the East Coast, here's a problem with mileage. How about this on the East Coast? It's horrible. You can't get anywhere. You still sit in traffic all the time. So I way prefer hourly on the East Coast. So I'd really want to know, do the loads not normally go there? If you're stuck in New York all day, every day, every week or whatever for 60 cents a mile, it doesn't matter. You drive 10 miles a day. A shout out to Mark's wife. Shout out to Mark's wife from GP Transco. It's not a race car. It's an 80,000 pound weapon. Yeah. I don't understand that they had state specific stuff. I had a Dodge Caliber with a CVT. It was garbage. Well, the Caliber, was not the highest caliber vehicle going anyways. I learned running teams, it didn't make a hill of beans of speed. As long as we drove the truck and stopped for swapping out, we also fueled at the same time, set it and forget it. Yeah, everything should be done at once, right? Showers, fueling. I'm sure teams all have that worked out so that at the changeover, everything is done at the same time. Absolutely. But for $900, you must have sat a ton, or the place didn't pay anything. It didn't pay of the highest caliber like it should pay. Yeah. Some people don't realize how many people a semi comes by on a daily basis. Tens of thousands. It's a lot of responsibility. That's true. We don't impress that upon people enough that it's a big responsibility, and with that should come a big paycheck, of course. But there's a huge responsibility. The smallest mistake can kill tons of people. What about that load of nuns, that school bus full of nuns, as people always talk about, and buses full of orphans that are all over the place that everybody talks about? That's almost serious. There's lots of people out there, and this following too close, which is really what I impress upon people. Don't follow too close. It's, why are we doing this? Why are we 10 feet behind the car in front of us? Something happens, boom, people are dead. For what? What are you going to make another $2 that day? None of that is worth it. So that's why I almost see why companies put forward-facing cameras on trucks. Absolutely, because that goes off, right? That backs those trucks off. Some people don't realize, let's see, the security guard video is on Freight Broker Live. What is Freight Broker Live? James Faust leaving. See you next week. Okay, thank you for being here. Keep the four-wheelers home. They've been home for a while. They're going out now to the mall, I guess. 18 wheels and 40 tons of mayhem. 40 tons of mayhem sounds like a great name for a band. Okay, so that is going to be a band name that I'm going to write down and keep that, certainly. 40 tons of mayhem. So we were doing cars. So I had this picture. This is a car that I had, one of my early cars, because we had that other car the other week. So your year, make, and model of this thing. This is one of my favorites that I had many years ago. Love it. Don't have it anymore, obviously. So it was like these bigger kind of sedan wagon kind of vehicles. So there's that. One of Mark's early cars from the early days. I live in North Carolina. It's regional. So they told me I'm hiring area, and they say loads going to the boroughs. Depends on freight and not every load. 25 to 2,700 is what they're telling me. Of course. Places say, I'm just concerned. The East Coast for hourly. If you went to the boroughs regularly, a lot of places, look, some, not a lot, but some places have boroughs pay. So maybe you can see if they'll pay that. They pay you either $50 to go in the boroughs or an extra 10 cents a mile on the load or something. See if they'll give you something. Say, look, I want to come, but you got to give me something. Give me something. Something. Bus crash signs in Kentucky or Ohio. I always wondered what happened. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Thank you for showing the cat Fuzzy Nugget. It's so cute. Let's get Fuzzy Nugget back on here. I'm sorry Fuzzy Nugget's kind of fuzzy. Was he? But the picture was not of high resolution, but there's Fuzzy Nugget right there riding around in the truck. That cat has more miles than, almost everybody that works in the office at England. So that really says something as well. And probably a better backer than the people that work in there. The Regal wagon, oh, the shocker, no, we're a size bigger than that. Fun fact, the average trucking company, a road incident, even a small one, is $5,000. That's $5,000 in damages, means the company needs to earn $500,000 to make up for it. Yikes. I think that the family truckster, it seemed like that. But once you get a little bit of time in, it isn't the point of pride of speeding. It should be the point of pride of not damaging things. Like, you go through, they send you all over the country with all this expensive equipment, truck, trailer, loads cost, who knows, millions of dollars on some loads. The pride part should be when you come back to the terminal, they see you again after however long you've been gone, the truck looks just like how they gave it to you. There's no scratches, and all that kind of stuff. No damage to anything. It still looks just like how they gave it to you. Every load got delivered right. That should be the pride point for drivers. Not, I'm trying to get there, I'm going to push these cars out of the way and that. No way, right? Makes me miss my 89 Chevy Capri station wagon, right? Close. Are accepting car picks? Always. Hopefully your new MKZ. I get a picture of that. George Wilson, Buick LeSabre Estate. Yes, this is a 1978 Buick. This is actually an Electra Estate. So, although LeSabre was the lower, this was an Electra Estate wagon. And it was their full-size wagon. And the one I had the 403 in it. So, which was the biggest engine that year and the last year for that engine. And it did very good. So I loved that it had 4-speaker stereo system. Pretty fancy. Lots of room for everybody. Those huge plush seats, power everything. Fuel gauge went like this all the time when you were driving. Typical GM fuel gauge. As you take off from a light, it went all the way down to empty, and then it would pop back up. Yeah, great wagon. One of my early cars. So we had a Chevy Capri station wagon. That thing was a tank. You couldn't... I'll tell you what, this thing started all year in the winter and everything, and you could get through everything with it. It was good in the winter because it weighed so much, even though it was rear drive. 66 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser 3 on the tree is what I got your driver's license on. Wow. That would be pretty impressive. I drove a Nova with the 3 on the tree, which is something, and not a lot of people can drive those anymore. But the Vista Cruiser's pretty nice. Had the back glass there for people to see out. And this one seated people in the back also. It had 2 seats in the back. Was it the family truckster? Yeah, it was big enough as that. The other company you're looking at is Bar None. After watching a video, I called them. Seems like a decent place. People that go there, that write to me, say they like Bar None. So I would ask them, Bar None though, how often they can get you home on the coast. At first I thought you were in Maine, but even so, down there in North Carolina, ask them how often they can get you back. Both places. That might be part of it too. Which place has a terminal near you where you can park the truck, if you don't want to bring the truck home. We see drivers running on a customer's lawn, for example, which can cost $4,000. Who would do that? That's $400,000 of revenue that needs to be generated to make up for that damage cost. Why are drivers running on people's lawns? Aren't they wouldn't they be embarrassed about that? Yours might have been a Mercury Colony Park. Oh, the fancy. That was the fancy version of this, of a Ford wagon, right? Growing up, we had a lot of, my stepbrother would buy a new Colony Park every year or two. They would get a new Colony Park wagon with the wood trim on it. That thing is about a boat. You loved it. Had the mother-in-law seat in the back. That's correct. Oh, Al, no, you had a Lincoln. Oh, so every few seconds we're getting another upgrade. Now we're up to a Lincoln. Passenger vehicle takes 316 feet from the awareness point when traveling 65 to stop. Oh, this is like math. A semi takes 525 feet. Which one will get there first? I wonder how long for a semi at 80. Well, I'm talking Utah, out on open roads, nobody around. Just set the cruise and get cruising. Cassius King missed almost the whole show. I had to go pick a trailer from the shop. Got all going to California. Since when do you go to California? What happened? What happened to you? You've turned into a regular trucker. I assume between Minnesota and California there are probably 20 stops on that trailer. But I'll tell you what, you're considering how people are not making money, it seems like you still figured out how to make money. Did it have the CB radio with a big whip antenna, James Morrow? No, it did not. But I will tell you this, I had an Oldsmobile 98 Regency that did. Okay, that did have the standard CB from the factory with the whip and the microphone. So this didn't have it, though. It didn't do well on the drag strip. I don't know, it was my dad's cube mate in the other lane, lost my privilege. I enjoy everything you bring in front for the industry. Very enlightening, Michael. Thank you very much. Try to get some good stuff out there and some car pictures. I see the FMCSA still can't figure out the trucking. Really, it should not be this hard to move freight. No, it shouldn't be. But everybody wants a different thing. And this was who came out in favor of these new rules, by the way, immediately? Chris Spear, ATA. He's like, oh, well, these are really great. This is going to be really help the industry. And I know right then they thought, oh, how can we use this 2 and 3 hours to extend driver's day so that we don't get hosed on all these parkings? I can just see it now. And they have people that don't know to say anything because, if you're unsafe, you can say something. But the company be like, hey, well, you just started here. You can't drive. So they're going to put the squeeze on people. Epi's is great. Give them a call. I just took a 5-day rest. I can work whenever I want. That'd be really good. I'll just call in and say, hey, can I work today or not? I drove my dad's 74 Dasher with a 4 on the floor. Wow. You don't see those ever. Driving onto a lawn means too proud to get on and look when backing. Super truckers. That's correct. Right. But then I tell people, right, just use the force. Set it up and back it in. Cover the mirrors with bags. I have a 5-year plus perfect record. Looking for 55 cents in Home Weekly. If anyone blinked of good companies, well, I think living in North Carolina and 5 years experience, I think you could call this company right here. How about that? So, and get some good pay going that way. So maybe you want to give GP Transco a call. How about that? So when I'm waiting to get this screen back up, which it's disappeared from me. Of course, there we go. Epi's main terminal is in Greensboro, North Carolina. And the screen has disappeared again. So there it goes. Having a lot of technical problems today. And there it is again. I drive on lawns, but also drive a concrete mixer. So you're the guy that ruins everybody's lawn because they're making a patio. So, can I shout out to Niger, whoever that is, right? Can I shout it out? I can't even read the letters of it. DoorDash, very expensive. I'll take your word for that. I found the service to be not great. It takes a while to get stuff, and I didn't think it was that great a service. This was before sobriety. You can't remember. It was a Colony Park. Yeah, that's a Mercury. Lincoln didn't have any wagons then, so there were no Lincolns then. We can do it. We just can't get home weekly. We're over the road. So you would be out for 3 weeks. Considered a location. Okay, well, there's that. But it's still worth talking to him, at least. Sunbelt out of Hickory. That's interesting. Out of 77 Chevy C10 with a 3 on the tree. Worst vehicle I ever owned. The best vehicle I still have I use. An 88 Toyota pickup. Most reliable little truck. Is it all rusted out? Those 80s Toyotas? Holy mackerel. There's probably no metal left on it. Time to reload and head easy again. Be safe and wash your paws always, right? Keep clean. But we should be doing that anyway. Why are people saying it now, right? Try furniture, but if you live in North Carolina, I make $90,000 a year. That's pretty good. And you wouldn't, well, is there any unloading in furniture? Like Ashley Furniture? There's probably some unloading. For 90, maybe not bad. Mr. Wiener, which I love that name. Home on weekends for sure. So I want to go over these dates here. Let's see, July 12th to 18th. Okay, Operation Safe Driver. Mark that down in your calendar. They're going to be watching for speeding. I don't think we were just talking about that. Mark me, love you, log time. I need to go for my daily run and workout. Okay, thanks for being here, Misty. I appreciate you coming in today. Let's see, on August 23rd to 29th is Brake Safety Week. So that's when they reschedule Brake Safety Week. They said it's going this time, no matter what. They said they don't care if everybody dies. They actually didn't say that, but that's the week that they rescheduled it for, Brake Safety Week, 23rd to the 29th. So keep that in mind. And the first week, July 12th to 18th, speeding, Operation Safe Driver. We do hire local or regional drivers here and there, but it's for the Midwest on a daily rate. Oh, that'd be pretty good. Daily rate. Here's that daily pay again. So the Truckin' Jamboree, July 9th to 11th. I will not be seeing you there because they canceled it, and now it is a virtual Jamboree where you can just have a Jamboree at your own location, I guess, and send in a video of you Jamboreeing. I don't know what you do like that, but I've seen companies paying great money but pay $10.99. For companies that legal, no, they're not allowed to misclassify you. And any company that does that, I wouldn't work there, because if you drive their truck, they dispatch you, they fuel the truck and all that. You're an employee. Stay away from these 1099 companies. They aren't any good. They're just hanging around the outsides of the industry. Kind of like when you break an egg in a pan and all those little pieces are out on the edge of the egg. You got to cut those off because they just hang over your sandwich. I don't know what kind of thing that is, but that's an interesting way to look at it. 1099 is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, you're misclassified. You don't have any benefits. Remember, you have nothing. You have no unemployment. You have no workman's comp. You have no nothing. No retirement, no insurance, no nothing. All that is for you to do. And they never even give you the difference. I could almost understand it if all that pay went to you, because that's the company would pay that and they're saving it. So they're not even splitting it with you. I've seen 1099 companies at 45 cents a mile. That's crazy. So no, 1099 is as soon as they say that, it's a no. That's one of the first things you ask them. Some of them put it in their ads. Oh, we're 1099 here. I'm like, who would have that? Clay, virtual roller wieners. Yeah, you have to cook up your own roller wieners, and then everybody FaceTimes in with their wiener. And you just send out, I guess everybody just sends in pictures of their wieners, and they could post them right there in the thing. And pork chops, because I guess it was going to be a big pork chop thing. As of last week, this thing was still going on. It's outside. The whole thing's outside. They don't do this inside. This is all outside. It totally should have been continued on. They said, oh, the governor's not going to let us. Forget the governor. They're going to arrest 40,000 people? I don't think so. 1099 is 1100 minus 1 or 1099 plus 2. Can you work for GP Transco near the Los Angeles area? Well, what does GP Transco think about that? 1099 started with farm workers long ago. I think they're employees. Okay, it's all about, the IRS says it's all about control. Who controls your day and who has an interest in it? Can you lose money? That's one of the main questions. And lose doesn't mean zero. Lose means lose, like an owner-operator. They can take a load for 20 cents a mile and lose money. They're independent because they don't have to do it. But who controls your day? Who buys the equipment? Who fuels it? Who dispatches you? Who says what you do? If all that is them, you're an employee. You're simply an employee. I will send you a pic. That Toyota isn't rusted out. I'm surprised. It does have a little surface rust, but not rotted through. Salt destroyed most of mine, no. I always washed mine after a snowstorm. That's what people don't do. In the winter, you might have to go to the car wash 3 times a week. And that you should do that with any vehicle. But as you know, many of those old Toyotas are gone, not because they stopped running, but because there was just an engine and no car left around it. Just a seat attached to an engine. Mr. Bean has to break down a tailgate to the end of the trailer, solid loads and multiple drops. But for, you're making really good money. More than, probably 75 or 80% of the population? Not bad. The heady trucker unsolicited roller wiener pics. Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, wow, what are all these pictures? Oh, it's a virtual wiener fest. 1099, also another flyover country. Oh, right, that's true, right? GP Transco, say you make 65 cents on 1099. Earning 52 on W2 also includes benefits. And if calculated per mile, comes out to 70 cents. Truly. Oh, absolutely. People don't realize, many people really don't realize the expense that it is to hire someone legit as an employee. There's tons of costs. The Social Security, workman's comp, all this unemployment has to be paid on them. It costs a lot of money. And so companies don't do it, but then they don't give you any money. They don't give you any of the money. GP Tranto does hire Los Angeles and have an office there. And give us a call. They have an office in L.A. And they have every driver that hires in L.A. gets a Tesla for themselves to drive. So that's pretty nice. I've heard that's coming. I'm not sure if that's true. They have a 2010 Lexus LS460. Great second owner car. Ooh, fair, more fanciness. Well, Bill will be sending unsolicited car pics. All right, I look forward to it. I looked at Martin. Only company that pays detention as soon as you bump the dock. Yeah, there are companies that do pay you guaranteed or, right away. That's absolutely true. So what did you think about that place? They should be rolling at least now because it's food. Barna is owned by Swift. Comfortable man. Yeah, I'm very surprised whenever I saw that. But they are owned by Swift. And anybody that works there just sends me glowing reviews of the place. Oh, I'm so glad I'm here. They really treat me well. And then people at Swift are like, oh my gosh, how do I ever get out of this place? Well, just go work for their other company, bar none. Your grandfather had a 69 Nova with a straight six. It would fly off the rubber on the tires. Sure, the tires that it came with, right, tiny. Straight six, nice and torquey. Absolutely. I am GP Transco. I'm tied up till June with the owner and going back into retirement. Okay. Are you hiring? Yes. GP Transco is hiring in certain areas of the country. Here's a good way to get a hold of them right there on the internet. On the interwebs right there. Drive GP right there, and all their information is there. They have a good YouTube channel too. You should see when they got all these loads delivered in the planes. That's on YouTube. Pretty interesting. They had this gigantic plane fly in and bring supplies in. A huge cargo plane. One of the biggest planes I've ever seen. Landed at Rockford, Illinois, of all places. Who even knew they had an airport? Fresh Philly from a Roach Coach rest here on 30 in Arkansas. I hope you bought it. I mean, to help the people that are coming out there with the food trucks. Anytime you see a food truck in a rest area, go buy something from these people so that they will continue to stay out there and provide stuff to the drivers, because they still need to make a living too, and that truck also expensive and everything. And I don't know about other states, but they commented about it in Indiana, that the truck already has to be licensed, fully inspected by the food police and everything. So these are not just somebody that said, hey, let's make a bunch of food and stick it in our trunk. These are food trucks here in Indiana that are licensed and inspected and everything. Big Nate Jobber. I've been looking at 1099 trucking companies, see how much they pay. They're starting at 45 to 50 cents a mile. I don't think it's worth it. No, that's less than you can get as a company driver, and you have no benefits. So you get 45 cents with no benefits, no protections at all. Believe me, if something happened to them during this and they closed, you wouldn't be able to file. They go, no, you're not an employee. You don't get unemployment. Remember that. You won't get unemployment. You're not an employee. So you're hurt at work. You don't get the benefit of workman's comp. You don't have it. You're not an employee. There's no way is that worth it. I was told Barn-On started a long time ago by old Freeport Fast Freight. Oh, it was good. Good. I'm glad you got it. We have to support small businesses like that, or they'll leave the rest areas. And we'll have to go to Natso truck stops where they don't care, where they just want to help everybody, as long as they can have food places not close to their places. GP Transco is hiring right now, right? Al John's left your car keys in your truck. I guess you're going to have to go back. How far is that from where you are? Preacher Paul, my hazmat company pays me for all my time. As soon as you bump the dock, I'm on the dock. Good. I mean, and so you're likely to stay. A company that pays you well, that you like, you're more likely to stay there. Once you start getting 10, 20 hours of unpaid time a week, you're like, well, this is about garbage. I got to get the heck out of here. Thank you for the show. Get back to us with the P.O. Box update. Have a great day, folks. Thanks for being here, GP Transco. Forget about them at GP Transco right here for some info. They hire most of the country, so if you live somewhere in the country, give them a call. Don't forget about Jay tonight, okay? Jay's going to be on tomorrow night at 9. And I'll put Fleet Nav Systems up there, right? It's 11 a.m., 11 tomorrow and Friday. Don't forget to come for the lightning round on Tuesdays. Pretty interesting. They'll take calls. If you wear it, of course, make it a parrot, as we always say right here. Always get a blue parrot. But I have to head out and make my company some money, as usual. Was a taco truck at the Dallas Del Monte. Some of the best street tacos you ever get. These trucks always have better food than restaurants, too. It's not like this is terrible food. They're very good. Please help the business owners of these trucks, because they're trying to run a business, too. So the heady trucker will just become a pimp and specialize in lot lizards and get a super fly suit. Oh, you got to get the suit. You got to have the big feather and the hat and everything. Absolutely. Thank you for the show. Oh, it was awesome. The heady trucker. I appreciate it. Be safe, Al Johns. Thank you for that. Well, Bill was first on Thursday. Misty Rebka was here today first, though, on my screen. So I appreciate that, too. James Faust had to head out early. Thanks for being here. Cash is King Trucking. Please update us on this California load. I don't know where you think you're going out there. Get your chains ready if you're going to cross 80, because look right now, they're chaining up. Probably by the time you get there, it won't be. Al Johns, thanks for being here. James Morrow, I appreciate you coming in. S. Isaacs Bright, I appreciate everybody coming in. Believe me, that anybody comes in, I'm always appreciative of. Now, next week's Memorial Day should still be here. So we'll see how that goes, but that shouldn't be any problem, right? Big, huge Mike. Hello there. Let's see, where am I at? Where did I go off to? Oh, Aviator Trucker was here today. Thank you for that. Tony 5000. Preacher Paul came in today. Oh, let's see, where am I here? Alexandra, thank you for being here. Big, huge Mike had to take off. The Shocker was here. It was shocking. Tookie Smith, I love it. Right. K80TIK. That's an interesting name. Hard to say, but still, I appreciate you coming in. George Wilson was here. Michael Muller came in. I appreciate it. Trucking Journeys. Thank you all for being here. But my company requires that I make them some money. Otherwise, they will gripe at me. That's just how they are. You know how these places go. Yikes. We'll be back soon, of course, with more videos, and send in the pictures of whatever you want. We'll get them on the show. Be safe out there, and I'll see you soon.